Hello, 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 hello. Today is Sunday, and it's time to start a show. We're going to do a little hangout, talk about the 49ers yesterday game right after this. Love that intro. Um, well, today I had a pretty good day. Was sitting here chilling today, thinking about our 49ers legends and the game yesterday. But before I start talking and get to rapping, let me bring in my panel. First man coming in is my brother from Daly City, California, San Francisco. Yes, he is. He's my brother, John J. The dope rhymer. Oops, I forgot to hit the.
Corey, what's up, man? Great intro.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
How was
How
your day
about
today?
yourself?
I'm good. Okay, can you shut my door for me? Okay, coming in, my brother from all the way from well, he's not from, he's just lived there in enemy territory, you know. But this man, he's tough. He goes out there with his 49 stuff on and say, what you Seahawks want to do about this? Huh? Huh? Come on. Bring it. My brother, Ryan, no border sport.
That's right. Come test me in my gear.
How
What
you
up,
doing?
dope rhymer? What up, Corey?
That's
Wiki, wiki.
How was your day today?
Man, it was all right, actually. I worked today, but man, it didn't seem bad,
That's good.
right?
Yep. Okay. My other brother coming in. He he will always try to talk over you. My brother.
David Pacifico.
David Corona.
Pacifico.
You got the wrong beer, Ryan.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
What's up, John Jay? What's up, Corey? What's up, everybody?
How
what's
you doing?
up?
How was your day today?
It's pretty good.
How's wife?
Shout out to Lord Cat.
She's getting better.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's
good.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's welcome back this man. Haven't seen him for a while. He lives in New York, New Jersey, in New Jersey.
Newark, New Jersey.
This is my brother. He's cool. We won't hold it against him because he's a Giants fan.
We see him. We see him in week. We see him in week 3.
Yes,
We won't hold it
We
against him.
will-
Oh God!
my brother.
Like he's got leprosy or something.
YTC.
I feel very welcomed, but what's up?
What up, YTC?
What's up, No Border? John
Man.
Corona.
What's up, man?
And also, correction, I'm from Middlesex, remember?
Oh,
Middlesex.
Yes. I forgot. It's been a long
We see
time.
the Giants in week 3.
Yep.
Look forward to it. So,
If Danny Dimes lights us up, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Just say, or if that bastard runs on us all day long. I'm sorry. I look those like nothing against you, YTC. It's just I don't think Danny Dimes is as talented as he's getting paid. Let's just put it that way. I think it was almost. I think it was almost like a Jimmy's G scenario. Even though you guys didn't like reset the market like we did with Jimmy, it seemed like
okay.
it was like your best option.
Well, it's that, or pay
We're already
$54 million for a quarterback, or pay $54 million to a quarterback, choking 27-point leads. So, pick your poison.
Let me bring in these two guys. Hold on. Let me bring in these other two guys. If I can get it to go down. Come on. Okay,
Who's the
first.
All right.
He from Richmond, Virginia.
Oh.
My brother.
Oh, whoa.
You better he's got the plug in it, Mr. Pterodon.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How's my sound? Everything good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Corey,
man. Thank
what
you.
did you say he had? I didn't catch that part.
Public enemy.
Oh,
Pterodon.
okay. Because I didn't hear it, and I was like, "What the heck is like, what? Like, what
Public
kind of an
enemy
introduction did he
number
just get?"
one. That's my boy. Chuck
Yeah,
D.
I like your prayer this morning for the guy's father that passed away. Sorry to hear that.
Brother Matt. Yeah, I was on with
Yeah.
Niner Gang podcast, man, and I know how that is, man. When you lose that, it's
Oh yeah.
that's a hard one, you know.
Who
Oh
passed?
yeah, for sure, man.
Who passed?
One of Niner Gang Dion's, one of his faithful day ones, A1s, chat guy named Matt. I forget his whole handle, but he said his dad had passed away, and we were bringing a little lightness, and the win yesterday really helped him out a bit, because I
I'm
think
sure.
he passed yesterday. So, it's a tough thing, man. You're in a haze that first week, man. It's just unbelief, but gotta hold you, gotta handle it, man.
My dog got murdered while I was sleeping. I woke up to my
Really?
dog's chest being blown out, and I was beside myself for a very long time. Right? It was just me and my dog forever. You know what I mean? X
Yeah.
left. Me and my dog was always there. This and that. You know what I mean? And she was my truck dog. So I was really distraught about that. Later that night, I go over to my buddy Eli's house, and he's like, "Let's just get baked, bro. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, let's just get baked, until we can't feel feelings." So I was like, okay. So we decided to clam bake in his car in his driveway. And we're sitting there with the bong in the car. Next thing you know, he gets this call from out of nowhere. And this other person who is a lot more stoned than we are is talking and is got the wrong number. But all of a sudden they think that my buddy sounds like a radio personality named Miles or Thrill. I can't remember, from the Man Show. The men's room. Sorry, it's syndicated throughout the United States, but it takes place. They do it here in Seattle. Anyway, so he's just like, he hears him hitting the bong, and he asks him about it, and the guy gets freaked out and he hangs up. So he calls him back, and the whole time this guy thinks my buddy's the radio host, and he's going along with it, and like he just keeps. We were messing with the stoners, you know what I'm saying? And
y'all had an impromptu radio show getting baked.
Oh my God! Like it got my mind off of everything for at least about 30 minutes, which was great. You know what I mean? To kind of be out of my problem there for a little bit. So it was kind of. You know, I could see how the 49ers, you know, pulling that game out, you know, even though it's not a regular season game, that's your team.
Yeah. And it needed to be pulled out too, because man, our defense was getting gashed a bit. And we'll get, I guess we'll talk about that. Our run defense is you know, I'm a little suspect on this one.
Okay. I got another 2 people to bring in.
Bring them in.
My brother, all the way from New Jersey. He's a 49er fan. No, he's not a Giant fan. My brother, Carcass, 49er dog. Come on, get him.
Carcass.
The great Carcass.
Yo, what's up?
What's cracking?
What's up, guys?
What's up?
buddy?
It's good. How's everyone doing today?
Anyway,
Good.
All good.
but also shout out
Victory
to the great Terra
Sunday.
Dome. Yeah, shout out to the great Terra Dome.
Great Terra Dome.
Yeah, the
Yep.
great.
Thank you, brothers. Thank you.
Okay.
Victory Sunday.
Yes, sir.
This man, he got to watch his special player make the last kick.
Uh-oh.
Indication.
Let's bring him in.
And
Well,
his name is Brian Cook.
We got to give him some applause, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hit the
Yes.
applause.
what's up,
on that.
Ryan?
Hey everybody.
What's up?
What's up? Hey, Brian.
What's up, Brian?
I was saying, man, maybe somebody called from those sidelines after Moody missed the extra point, and they say, "Is Brian Culp in the house to give us some pointers?"
Yes.
And then he kicked it at the end. I was like, they might have just you, because it's Brian Culp. He always lucks into something. Hey, you got to look at it all the way through, son. See, watch me. And I thought I would see you at the net.
You know what? I like taking a jacket places. You never know when the weather's going to turn. You know, I like to be safe, you know, not sorry. And me and my wife, we both take our gold jackets there. And it was a little warm to begin with, but it chilled down a little bit. And I'm glad we had our jacket. But when I see him on the field, Wichnowski, Moody, Zane Gonzalez, and Tabor Pepper were closer to us. They were warming up by the end zone that he actually, you know, kicked the field goal. We were right there. So it was a lot of fun to get to see him warm up. And I take my jacket off. I'm standing back. I'm trying to like yell his name, point out my jersey. I think he's seen it. I'd like to think so, you know. But yeah, he missed that extra point.
He saw it,
like,
Brian. Didn't you hear
man.
his interview later? He was talking about you.
Okay, coming in. This man, he lives in Utah.
I called that kick, by the way, Brian.
And he's the auntie slayer. So keep your aunties away. My
Donnie Slayer
brother,
of Subaru Nation.
David
McNair.
Super Dave.
What's going on, guys? LFG 49ers.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
How's the life of slinging bratwursts?
Great.
I sell it by the pound, gentlemen. I sell it by the pound.
Sell it by the pound.
Okay, let me see. Daniel.
Yep, Daniel Berry.
Barry, how you
What up,
doing?
Daniel? Thanks for stopping in.
Horrible logo.
What's good, Daniel?
Horrible
No,
logo.
that's the best logo right there.
So I have one question for Brian that I forgot to ask him earlier. After Jake Moody hit that kick, did you scream, "Let's ride"?
Wow.
Please say
No,
yes.
what would have been
And it
better is if
starts
he
early.
stripped off his clothes to reveal
Oh.
Let's Ride on his chest.
Oh,
as he streaks
no.
through the field.
I was mad. Teardome touched on it just a little bit ago. We're getting gashed up the middle. We need to be able to stop the run. But when it's Russell Wilson, he always does that. He spreads everybody out and he gets a pocket. A pocket opens up right in front of the center and he slips right through the middle and he'll get you 10, 15 yards a chunk, And I'm like, if you can make a career out of that, then, hey, more power to you,
Did you
Because
see
one-
Hargrave? Did you see Hargrave get him that second time? I was like,
Hargrave did get him that.
that was a
second time,
great
but
move because you
that
can't
was-
get deeper than the quarterback. And the moment he felt he was getting deeper than the quarter, he flipped that move, and it was immediately like,
Yeah,
see you on the other side.
you got a much.
Hey, Laura Cat, how you doing?
Laura Cat,
Hey, Laura.
superstar in the house. What's up, Laura Cat?
She's becoming a faithful to all our channels. Shout out to her.
Yeah, she's
Yep.
awesome.
Shout out to Laura. She's part of the glue,
Yep.
the glue that holds our channels together.
It is.
Her,
It is.
Bebop, Randy Daytona. I
Got
mean,
the red hair, representing
Yep.
like that. Yes, my mom's hair is red, but she's a Cowboy fan,
Who's
so
this?
I'll forgive her.
Cowboys.
Blessed
should
be.
Is she?
does she dye it
Oh.
red or is it
It's-
or is she
Yeah, it's dyed red. It's been dyed
Okay.
red for years and years.
because like
She's known by it. It's called the color's called Fiery Auburn, and
Shout out.
she is known in the whole the city of Richmond. If you say Miss Margaret, everybody knows Miss Margaret, her famous potato salad and her red
John
hair.
Jay, your son's in the chat.
No, hold on. Let me clarify this. He
Damn.
looks just like you. He looks just like
Damn.
you.
Yeah, both were fighting for custody battle for Skimpy.
Oh no. The reason why he wants to pass with his son to me is because Corey failed as father because he became a
Oh.
Cardinals fan. Corey's like, no, he's a Cardinals fan.
I know.
Come on. A simple rock paper shoes can dispute this custody battle.
Well, technically,
I'm
technically,
sorry, John Jay.
Yeah.
YTC son.
Ugh, no. Oh no.
hey YTC,
you kind of.
that's $800 a month. I'm gonna need support.
Well, technically, you told me that you've known him longer than all of us. You kind of raised them. It makes sense.
Yeah.
No, the other associate I knew raised them. Ugh, no.
All right, we're done.
Custody gets the money.
What's up, Bebop?
Hey.
What's
John.
cracking, Bebop?
What's up,
What up,
Bebop?
Bebop? Hey, awesome kid. I'll adopt you, but I'll say I'm adopting you, but it'll really be a conservatorship.
You want that money? That's what you want.
Yeah, because I'm a greedy piece of shit. I'm just saying.
It's like Britney Spears' dad.
No, Michael Orr's parents.
Oh, that's
yeah. That's why I was
see
saying I'm a
going back
greedy
and
piece of
getting that
shit.
money. Yeah, man.
Same thing with Britney Spears' father too. That was a little bit, you know what I mean? Like this Michael Orr stuff really got me annoyed. Fucking people. Don't you got enough
Fiery
already?
Auburn. Yeah,
Don't you
yeah.
got
Laura.
enough already?
Fiery Auburn.
Why you got to steal from this man's legacy that he could be putting his future family up on, but you needed a little more?
Is that what that's all about? They're still asking for more money, or
So
whatever?
the thing that really pisses me off is first thing, adoption. Okay, so adopting somebody is a really powerful thing to do, and it takes a certain person to be able to adopt somebody and treat them like they're their own child. Okay,
Yes.
and his supposed parents told him they were adopting him, and he just needed to sign the papers. And what it was is they fooled him into getting a conservatorship where they had control over his money. or had
Ooh.
control over everything. And then they sold the rights to his movie and then took all the money.
Oh, that's the thing that's going on.
So
we're talking to Michael O'Hare, yeah. That guy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So to me,
I was just talking
like,
about it earlier with my buddies.
There's like just despicable shit after despicable shit in that scenario there that I just, you know.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
low.
Yeah.
Now,
kneecap him.
John Jay.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
How you feel about the game yesterday?
Let's see, we won, so that's good for us. There was a lot of things I did not like. We talked about Russell Wilson. Oh my gosh! Like even in the preseason game, for whatever the reason, he's picking up big yards on us. So they got another game against the Chargers. Hopefully they can figure that out. And then that's one thing that I did not like. One thing that I was not a big fan of is, Kyle said, Sam Darnold was going to do the first half, and Trey Lance was going to play, but he didn't come in until like very end of the third quarter. Because you want to see Lance play. You want to see Lance play, because last week it was a lot of negative publicity towards, the kid's name.
Hey.
Yeah.
Really good outing, by the way.
Real quick, awesome kid. How many of them call you on your birthday?
Oh, wow.
Not my son. I don't look
More
like
importantly, how many of them claim you on your income taxes?
First of all, he does not look like
all of
me.
them. All of them. All of them. They
Forget
call him on his birthday, but they want their tax benefit.
Oh, Jake Moody knocked the game-winning field goal. That was good.
Bryant, you're muted.
The extra points, maybe someone can let me know what happened on that play. But that extra point,
Jake Maher? Now stop. Go
I was
ahead.
scratching my head. But besides all of that, the Niners got the W. The Niners got to clean up some stuff, and it looks like we found a wide receiver that's going to be on the roster. So the overall good game. Like, I like the game. I saw a lot of good things. I saw players stepping up. I saw some bad players making bad mistakes, but overall, I liked everything I saw. I love the first drive. They went down the field with the first team, so I was glad everything that I saw, the good, bad, and
nice.
I was just happy that I saw what I wanted to see.
Hey, did anyone else see that Ronnie Bell guy breaking tackles and running fools over?
Ronnie Bell
yeah.
he is stronger than people think. He's a combination of Ayuk, and he's got some Debo up in there too. That stiff arm really impressed me a little bit. He's put it on the ground twice in 2 weeks. I've seen. We recovered this week and didn't last week, but I like
you
this
mean
young
the
man.
interceptions?
He's got a set of paws on him, and he gets down and he gets it, man.
Do you mean the interceptions when you say put it on the ground?
No, he fumbled.
He
twice.
Did I miss that?
Yeah, we recovered this week. Last week, we could have recovered as well, but I think the receiver was looking up at the jumbotron, and the ball was around his feet, and it's kind of laying it down. And one of the drawbacks of having a tough runner is he's going to collect up defensive guys on top of him as he's struggling for more yards, and sometimes that leads to the ball getting pulled out.
Yeah, I remember that play.
Yeah, and I know he had a ball. I know he had a pass that went through his hands that should have been caught, and it turned into an interception. The ball went right through his hands, and right down.
You're talking game one with the Raiders, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So he has had some turnover implications.
And this last game, he did tip a Sam Darnold pass that got intercepted.
Hold on, that Sam Darnold pass went off his shoulder pad. It was behind where it needed to be.
It was hard too. It was real. I thought it was his helmet.
I don't know. He should look. I'm not one to jump in front of a bullet for Sam Darnold, but I'm from the school of if it hits your hands, you should catch it for the most part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're getting it with bare fingertips and you're fully extended, I'm sorry, I can't blame you there. You know what I mean? But if it's somewhere where your arms can be bent and you can catch it, you gotta. You know what I mean? That's your job.
Well, if you watch the pass from this last game, if Sam Darnold throws that 2 feet to the left, that's a catch.
I
but he
you.
threw it and literally bounced. I saw it bounce off Ronnie Bell's shoulder pad. And,
it had to be. It was shoulder pads or helmet. It was something big, and it bounced really far. So it was the velocity on the ball. It had mustard on it, but it's one of those unfortunate things. We'll sit back and look at the all 22s and look at the sideline and end zone view of it. But
you can tell he's going to play because he was in there all game this last game. He didn't. There were some guys. It was like Jair Brown in there all game. You know what I mean?
Awesome play by him at the half, man.
I feel
if he doesn't make that hustle play, that's a touchdown.
I feel that Ronnie Bell's going to be showcased the same way in the next game because I'm sure he's going to be a part of the offense. I think I was saying with John Jay last night on his show, he's going to have some plays in the playbook for him. You know what I mean? Some packages. Yeah. He's going to be in on some packages, and he might be kind of like you remember how Debo started like halfway through the year, and he was a mainstay in the offense halfway through the year. I'd say probably about a quarter of the way into this season, I have a feeling Ronnie Bell's going to be a staple of the offense. Just another one of those. Oh, we got one guy taking a break. Oh shit, we got another guy coming in. You know what I mean? There's another guy to replace him. Was almost the same. Got different things that he's better at. You know what I mean? But just as nasty on the field.
He's flashing. I like how he's flashing on the defensive side. I really like the Marlon Davidson, which sounds like a cool name for a Harley Davidson. Marley Davidson his motor's really good. He had a sack and he was pressuring a lot. He was a bit of a surprise, but from my understanding in practices and things, he's into the rotation. I don't think he's going to get a starting job, but I think he's a welcome addition in terms of a rotational piece for the defensive line. I like what I saw out of him. He was a welcome flash. Along with our linebackers are looking really, really good. That Jalen Graham, man, he gets in the hole and he gets sideline to sidelines and arrives with bad intentions.
What do you guys think about Fumagalli? He's a guy who seems to be flashing every time I see him in the back of his jersey. You know what I mean? Every time I'm like, oh, hey, that's Fumagalli again. You know what I mean? It seems like right now, I think he's better than Latu. You know what I mean? As far as things go, but I think Latu's going to stay because he's a project.
Yeah, he missed one from Trey earlier. It was a little short hop, but those big three that he made, including the game winner, right? The touchdown. Well, it wasn't the game winner because we had to have a 2-point conversion at the end where BA was so happy. He was in civilians. He came down on the field or something. They moved the 2-point conversion all the way back to the 17. But Latu came, he came alive. He made some catches. I think he was 3 out of 4 in terms of targets and receptions. So, he's a 3rd round pick. So you give a little leverage and latitude there.
I feel he's gonna be what they want if he gets there. It probably 2 years, 3 years. You know what I mean? He's gonna be one of them. We'll see him flash more probably, next year. You know what I mean? I don't see him being able to get a lot of time this year because we got guys who can already play. And you got Braden Willis in there
I like Willis.
Even though he had a horrible block during the game. But one of my favorites. But hey, it happens. What can you do?
I got a feeling that Charlie Warner and Dwelly are making the team. I think Dwelly's got a good shot, but I just think their times on the team has come and gone.
Warner,
the only way I think they're going to be able to keep him is if they can get him on special teams, and that's why I think they're going to try to keep the wide receivers that aren't going to actually be the starting wide receivers. I think we're keeping 6 wide receivers, and I think we're going to keep 3 running backs because it seems like we can get another running back from the streets pretty quick. And if we can get somebody like Nichols to go on to our the reason I think we keep 3 running backs, right, is because I think Jake Colito makes the team. Jack Colito.
He is good. He scored too, man, and he's the heir apparent to Juice.
And the reason I think he's going to make the team is because he can play tight end, he can play fullback, he can play running back, he can play quarterback, he can play linebacker, I mean, you know,
pocket knife.
But to me, that would that he wouldn't count as a running back then. The reason being is because I think he would be stashed more as a tight end because you could play tight end and fullback. And Kyle wants his running backs.
So
you know what I mean?
We used to have a long snapper named Kyle Nelson, and he's no longer on the team. I said something a couple weeks ago. It wasn't domestic charges. Tony corrected me. It was Pete. It was steroids. So he's not on the team anymore. But he was a long snapper, and he played backup tight end. So when we had kept just a couple tight ends, we always had him in the back pocket. So I agree, you know, but if he goes underneath the title fullback and we keep 2 fullbacks and put him as primarily on special teams, the guy is like, he's a mechanical engineer. I think that's what he is. And he can memorize things really quickly. So I don't think the playbook's going to be too hard for him. I think Ronnie Bell and Jack Colito make the team, and I think our 2 new tight ends make the team. So we might.
Where did he go to school? The mechanical engineer
guy. He went to Oregon. He was a Duck.
Okay.
And I know he might not be a mechanical engineer, but Larry Krueger did a almost an hour episode with him, and they broke down a whole lot of stuff. It's a really good show episode. So. I'm really excited about him because he can play so many different positions. He's like like a Juice. He's like a CMC.
Yeah, just like a shoe-in for Kyle to want to find a way to keep you on his team. If he could do multiple roles, he loves that stuff.
Yes, sir. That's us.
Because you'll never know what he's doing. You see Jack come into the huddle. Okay, you still have no idea what the hell's going on because he can play 3 different positions. You know what I mean? Like
there it is. And it puts a stressor on defenses because they go, okay, it's 11 personnel. This is what we'll do. It's 20 personnel, 21 personnel. This is what we'll do. But when you get positionless guys who come in and normally he's a fullback, but what is he doing over there at tight end? Oh no, what's he doing over there? Why is he spread out wide? It throws everything off of you. Yeah.
If he ever throws a pass, people now have to go, oh, he's thrown a pass once. Now we need to watch out for him throwing a pass again because this is their Taysom Hill trick player guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You see the defensive coordinators just throwing up paper.
Yeah, screw it. I don't know. Base.
Zone.
I don't know what to do.
Cover 4.
But to answer John's question, to answer John's question with the PAT, I didn't quite see exactly what happened because it was on the other side of the field, but I seen him miss it. And when he missed it, people in the crowd, of course, they didn't like him missing it, but there was people saying that he needs to be practicing in the stadium. So I don't know how many times he's been able to kick inside the stadium instead of the practice field. I don't know if that really makes a difference.
Brian, I'm sorry, but as a kicker, how was the wind out there? Did you notice the wind? They were talking a little bit on their broadcast. How windy was it?
They said
I didn't notice the wind. Again, I was sitting with my jacket on. I was really nice and comfortable. I had a beverage already in my hand, so I was very comfortable. I heard them say that too after the game, and I heard them say that, but I haven't heard them say that much. And I know we're not like Chicago with their wins. I know we're not like Michigan with their wins. I know Candlestick used to be bad with the wins.
Candlestick was real bad.
But I don't know how really horrible Levi's is. I know some of the kickers would come out and they'd lick their fingers and put it in the air to see which direction it was going. And we've had maybe 4 kickers at Levi's since it's opened. So I can't tell you it was really horrible. I think he's trying to kick it so hard, he's hitting it wrong, in certain areas because he's used to kicking it deeper.
He's going over the top of it too with those PATs and that last field goal for the win. He's going over the top of it. So I might, unless it's going to mess up his trajectory. What if he brought it down a bit? Because If you go over the top of it, you might get it called not good.
Mhm.
There could be a chance, but if it goes in between the pole and they can see that,
Mhm.
and they're not having to judge it going splitting it down through the pole,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that might be something he might need to do.
And I'm not a professional kicker, but I know I can kick like two different ways. I can kick head on, and I can kick where you kind of come out after like out of an L, like a little bit of a slant.
Yeah.
And for me again, I kick straight on. I don't whip my leg. So sometimes you'll see kickers and they'll like turn their legs sideways and whip it, more like soccer. And some of them will kick head on. And some people kick with their toes, and some people kick with the top of their feet. And if you can get like right there, right above the top of your toes, right, but not on the top of your foot, you can really nail it. At least that's my and I don't know exactly what I'd like to talk to him sometime about how he kicks, but he definitely looks like he's getting comfortable. But the fans in the stadiums, again, they were trying to say he needs to come in and practice inside the stadium. So if the regular fans that come to the stadium are saying that, maybe he does need to get inside the stadium, and have the noise on, and just like get comfortable like regular, mechanics. So
I don't.
For you,
Okay,
thank you, YTC, for coming in and making an appearance.
Yep.
Thank you.
TC, what's up?
Yep. Thank you, RTC.
His
Yep.
computer committed suicide.
Week three.
Week 3.
Week 3. Anyway.
That's the Giants.
I know. Yeah, Terradome. That's my boy YTC. He's a Giants fan.
Now there's a stadium too. Well, I don't know how MetLife is, man, but I played in East Rutherford, and that wind is different. Talk about a swirling wind, man. And it was like August when we played Grambling up there. That wind is something up there. You don't know what's going on with that piece of, piece of stadium.
It's so bad, Terry about to curse.
That wind was different, man. And you look at it, they have flags at the top of the poles, but man, they could go in different directions in the Meadowlands.
So it was like Candlestick almost.
Yeah, it was very, very similar to Candlestick. Really.
What up, Eric Wallace?
Eric
Wallace in the hizzle.
Coolest dude on YouTube. Like I watch a lot of college football, and one thing, the field goal posts are much wider. They're much wider, and the hashes are way, way wider. So in college, what I do know, because I've been fortunate to be on a college football field with kickers and other players, and they had different types of ways they would teach college kickers. They would teach them on the left hash and teach them to kick the ball in a curve motion. Then they will put them between the middle and the hash, sort of like a diagonal straight kick, and they would do that. But one thing that kickers hated in college, when they had to go to the right hash, they hated kicking on the right hash for whatever the reason. So they were like, dude, I hate kicking on that hash. So in college, they teach you every way of kicking football. But once you go to the pros, the hashes are more narrow. The field goals are more narrow. They're much taller. But for a kicker who's getting accustomed to that, any position in football, you have to get accustomed to the narrow and how you kick a football in the NFL. Because I've held a NFL football. That thing is big, So trying to kick, in the college football is much wider. And NFL football is like much longer, so it's probably the ball. He'll get used to that eventually. So, in my opinion, I think again it's jitters, because he's like, oh, there's a big crowd. I'm at home. It happens. Every player. They're the first jitters.
And you think he'd be a little bit better with that? He used to play at the big house, and you know how big it was. I'm sorry about that, Corey. Go ahead and say what you were going to say.
When y'all naming about kickers, how Ryan was naming about kickers, how people kick. What about the ones that kick with no shoes on?
Oh, back in the day. Oh, yes.
Oh man.
Who's a bad?
I'm trying to think who that was. That was a barefoot kicker.
Yeah, there was a very full kicker in the
He
NFL.
kicked it on his side of the foot. No,
Yeah, he kicked it with like a karate man with that top of the foot. Carlos one? Man, trying to name the barefoot kickers. Now I remember straight on kickers. It was a guy in Washington named Mark Mosley, and he wore a whole bunch of socks. And he had a square toe that he used to kick it. He used to boot that thing. But barefoot kickers, I can't remember the names of them, but they were some good ones. There were some good barefoot kickers out there. Which,
that's crazy.
You would think, man, I would crunch my toe messing around, but they didn't use the toe. Obviously, they used the top of their foot, soccer style guys. Did you play soccer coming up, Bryant?
Only in like elementary, doing regular. We moved around a lot, so I didn't get to play a lot of sports when I was younger. When I got into high school, I was actually able to like solidify and be stationary for a little while and do some more like sport stuff. And I got into speech, again, speech and debate. I was on the debate team. I was on the chess team. I was on the drama team. I was on the academic decathlon team, football team. I tried out for cross country, but decided I didn't. Wasn't that I wasn't. If you don't get along with certain people, then and it's not fun for you, then why are you gonna do it? I wanted to, and I got into a point. Started working. I started working early, and I had a job when I was like 14, 15 years old. So I took summer school every year so I could get extra credits. I graduated with my senior year with only having one class that I needed. And I didn't need the credits for the class. I was just required to take one class for my diploma. So
what'd you do for the rest of the time, for the rest of the day? You just out?
I worked.
You worked?
Okay. Yeah, I worked with my dad. My dad was a building manager in a Masonic temple. My dad was also a construction worker, so I'd go to work with him and do stuff. I mowed yards, and I mowed yards for another guy who had a company. Well, a home business, but it was his professional business. And then I got a job at a restaurant really shortly after that. So then I started being a dishwasher and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun. Learned a lot of stuff. But even during my summer, I was going to summer school. I had a summer youth job, and I worked for the county, and it was cool. I got to file paperwork for like CPS kids and, just papers for, eligibility workers and stuff like that. So I learned how to file numerical, alphabetical, chronological. It's definitely numbers matter, and when they're in consecutive order, they really, really do matter.
Oh, yes, they do.
And this is, again, there's hard copies, and then there's, your computer. Well, at the time, everybody needs a file, so then everything that they have saved in the computer still needs to go into a file. So it's not the best job, but it gave me some extra money during my summer. So
okay,
sorry, Corey. Story of my life.
What y'all think about our defensive coordinator being upstairs, still on the ground?
Little different. I personally like being in the booth. If I'm coordinating, it gives you a bigger picture and paints a broader scope. But our last two have been on the sidelines, and there are benefits to that as well. You
Kyle
get more of a
Maid saw
feel.
Come down too.
Oh, he did. Okay, you get more of a.
He was
feel.
running
You
up
get
in
more
the
of a
booth
feel.
before.
Yeah, you can feel more, and when they come over to the sideline, you can talk, look in their eyes, and get, ask them what's happening out there. That's what some of my good Dan Surface and other guys, man, they say, okay, what are you feeling when we're doing this? And they say, well, we practice that he's gonna come from this way, but I'm feeling him coming this way. And then we, gather up, and then the next series. That's why sometimes you see things get progressively better, because he's talking to the players one-on-one reaction, looking into the hearts of men and getting things that way. The flip side of it is on the top levels, you can see who might be a little bit vulnerable. You can kind of strategize a little bit better. It's like playing Madden. You can see where somebody's really trying to go and trying to figure you out on different downs and distances. So there are benefits and drawbacks. But what I did notice is we were giving up a lot more on the run than we normally do. And that's preseason wide, season wide, postseason
It was better
wide.
than the first game, though.
Hey, let me ask
I
a question too. Let me ask a question. Why didn't we throw the challenge flag, or did we? Because I'm trying to watch it during the stadium, and everybody's screaming and being emotional, and it looked like that ball dropped out of the guy's hands. He didn't catch it, and then the next thing I know, they still have the ball. So did we not challenge the play? Because I thought that was a perfect opportunity for us to challenge.
Which one on the interception? With
The pass. The Broncos threw a pass, and he like laid out for the ball. And at first they called it a catch. When we seen it on the replay, it was coming out underneath here when he was coming to the ground. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to call a challenge. And we waited a few minutes, and it didn't seem like we called a challenge. So did we call a challenge? Because
I don't
remember us doing what.
Yeah.
I don't remember
I think
that
the
one.
referees looked at it again. I think.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about, then, David.
Yeah, they showed the replay. I saw the game.
They showing the game right now.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it earlier.
NFL Network.
Yeah, I seen it earlier.
There's definitely a pass that the Broncos catch, and
Yeah.
No, I know which one you're talking about. I just don't remember what happened after it.
Did they take it back, or did they rule
I
it a
think
catch?
the referees talked about it, and I think it was incomplete. I think.
I don't believe it was. I believe they got to move the ball the next play. That's why I'm like, what happened here? Because if they challenged it and it was negated, and we lost the challenge, okay. But for them not to challenge a play that was just similar to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a preseason game, right?
And you need to work out some of those kinks early. I get your train of thought. Yeah, we need to do that.
Especially if not D'Amico, but our new Wilkes is in the booth, he should be able to see kind of stuff like that. I don't know, but
no, he wouldn't see something like that necessarily unless it was through the replay, because he's probably farther away from that play than anybody on the sideline is. As far as eyesight goes.
He gets it in the booth. He's in the booth. So they get the same thing that they're showing in the stadium.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He's going to get it on the replay, not on the actual. It's going to be nobody really saw it until the replay. You know what I mean? It kind of looks suspicious, maybe like real time.
It was,
but it wasn't. It was just so quick, because I was like, "Hey, was that a catch?" But at the same time, I couldn't tell you that it wasn't. You know what I mean? But it happened so quick. Something happened where it made me think, I can't tell you what I saw, but just in the motion of him going down, I was like, is that a catch? Yeah. And I saw what you're talking about, and the ball was moving, and I wonder if they just were like, hey, I don't know. If he was already on his knees when he made that, then that would be a determining factor.
I thought we were challenging the Kaepernick, not the Kaepernick. Look at me, the Trey Lance, interception, but they ruled it that it was. So we just went on and went with it. How early was it in the game, Brian?
Oh, I would want to say maybe second quarter, third quarter.
Okay.
And they're going to the south end zone because that's where I was sitting at. I believe it was coming towards the south.
Are you facing that way or this way?
The south is the end zone where Jake Moody kicked the game winner.
All right.
That way.
Oh, that way?
That way.
That way.
Yeah, that way.
No, that way.
Well, they just started.
There you go.
Purdy's in right now. Debo is just turned. Debo looked sharp, y'all, didn't he? Yeah. Debo looked like Debo 21, Debo 19. He looked pretty sharp out there.
Yep.
Purdy did as well. getting it out of his hands real quick.
I know, yeah.
What-
You know, like, yeah.
What's better for coordinators to stay in the booth or stay on the sideline? Because I know
It all depends. You
It's a
got to like
preference.
this is the other thing. If you're stuck up in the booth and you can't communicate well, that's not
Right.
necessarily a good thing. But
Yeah,
if you could be up in a booth and you communicate well and you've got good staff that you can rely on to make sure they're relaying the message well and doing what they need to, you can be up there all day. I think that's
Right.
one reason why Kyle told Sala you need to be down on the sidelines.
Yeah.
oh,
Because they hadn't brought together the team that they have now. Now everybody knows what the hell they're doing. It's not like, Steve Wilkes barely brought anybody in. Everybody in any key position has been here already for a while. So it's plug and play. That's why I think Steve Wilkes is able to do it from the booth instead of being on the sidelines like everybody else was made to.
That's a good point, right there.
Yep.
And it could also be a part of why he came here. It's like, look, if I'm gonna have to do all this and not bring my staff in, this and that, well, at least let me be in the booth.
Yep.
And he's got Kosurg down there, who is a huge presence down on the sideline.
Right.
You know Kosurg. Everybody know Kosurg down there.
Now, yeah, like my high school, like we had like simple bleachers, but there was like a room for like the announcer and the person in charge of the scoreboard. But there was also a room called the coordinator's room for anyone that wanted to go up there.
Yeah.
And the visiting team would always go up there. Like the visiting coaches will always go up in that room. And so a lot of people, the visiting teams have the advantage because he can see the whole thing. But
they were just going up there to make out.
Wow.
That's the rumor I would have spread. It's a visiting team. You know what I mean? Who cares about them? They don't have feelings.
Big Max in the chat. Hey, buddy, if you scroll up, there's a StreamYard link.
Yeah, I can put it in there again.
I haven't seen him in a while. Oh, he's doing okay.
Come on, move.
Yeah, Brock Purdy looks good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Lee, stop putting my name in with that trash. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
No, that's actually his first name.
I
that's
know.
actually Dak's first.
It doesn't need to be doesn't need to be broadcasted. Think about all the other Ryans. Don't even worry about me. Think of all the other Ryans. They don't need that.
Hold on. Is that his actual name, Ryan?
Ryan Dakota Prescott. Yeah, he goes by Dak.
Yes, it
Look
is.
what you've done, Damien. Look at what you've done, Damien.
That's Ryan's brother-in-law.
Dak is the only.
Hey man, hey man, it's like that quarterback in New England, Michael McCorkle Jones.
McCorkle.
That's his middle name.
McCorkle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
We really should have punched this in at that first drive, man.
Now everyone remembers why he goes by Mac Jones, though, right?
Yeah.
Why?
It has to do something that there's another famous person with the same name.
Yeah, the rapper Mike Jones.
Mike Jones. Yeah. Mike Jones. Mike Jones. I love that. I love Mike Jones. He was sweet.
5'9" and Southleaf. In a big top non-candy.
I've seen Dallas go 10 to 12 wins and finish like 4.
I'm sorry, man. TDP sucks at blocking. This guy whips more than a perfume tester.
Yep.
This guy, and that was the problem there on that second down. He's got to block that linebacker. He's horrible.
Yep.
He's just horrible. God. And I watched in the the Las Vegas game. He's just whiffing. And the guy just won't block. He won't put a thigh on. He won't put a shoulder on anybody. He's just whipping.
He misses a couple more blocks throughout the game. Like a couple of them. Like I was watching JT O'Sullivan's recap of Trey Lance's performance.
Yeah.
And like he kept on going. They're 32 and blows
at
up
30.
another block. You know what I'm saying? Like you're
Yeah.
talking about Trey, and he can't.
JT is
stop.
my guy. JT, man.
He's like JT also say, who's this 32 and why is he missing the
Man, me and JT, we've been down for a minute, man. I'm on this Patreon. The QB school is absolutely wonderful. And if JT is calling you out, it is what it is, man. This dude is horrible.
Can he pay to get some heat in the room? He's always got like a jacket or a hoodie on, or a hoodie and a jacket. Like, holy Jesus. Can he just get some heat in that room or something?
I think he likes it cold. I think he does.
You know what I'm talking about? He always wearing like a jacket or a hoodie.
Hey, Crazy Juice.
Crazy Juice in the house. What's up, my man?
Yeah. Crazy Juice is a Warriors fan.
Who'd he say he can't be? He
Nah,
can't be worse.
he's a Laker fan.
Then
No,
Eric Flowers. I don't know, man. This dude is pretty
I'm
bad.
sorry, Corey. My bad.
YTC.
My bad.
Misses all the time. He
Warriors all day.
reminds me of somebody from Necessary Roughness or something, or any given Sunday. He's bad. He can't block, man. He runs decently. I personally like they call him JP Mason, but I like Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason is the dude. Jordan Mason does not go down easy. I like how he has that balanced kind of run style, kind of like young beast mode. Used to be Marion Barber back in the day with the Dallas Cowboys. He wears that.
Did you hear about Joe?
He just looks good to me.
Joe goes, "Hey, who's that beast mode? The mini Marshawn Lynch looking dude you got in your backfield, number 24." I said, "Oh, that's Jordan Mason. That's the Jordan we even talk about."
Yeah, man, that's my dude. I like Jordan Mason.
I've been clamoring for Jordan Mason.
Crazy Juice asking who missed the block.
That's that Dak. You know who it is? Is that
TDP? Crazy
TDP can't block ice.
Locos Juiso.
Yeah, Loco Hugo
Loco.
Yeah.
So who do y'all think is going to be the backup? Is it going to be Trey or is it going to be Donald?
I think when it's all over and said, it'll be Trey. Donald just looks like his helmet hurts.
My helmet.
I mean, he's efficient. He's got a decent arm. He's got.
He always looks like he's squinting, like his helmet's pumped up too high.
Like he put too much. We used to have the old bike helmets that you put the air in, and it looks like his helmet hurts.
Coach, my helmet's too loose. Well, you need it on the top or on the bottom? On the bottom.
Trey, in the grand scheme of things, man, I looked at a stat or a graphic, and Trey has played 420 snaps, and this was before the game last week. 420 snaps since he graduated high school. So he's gonna have some really raw looks. He's gonna do some. You're basically looking at a sophomore in college in terms of experience in snaps. So it's going to take a little bit of time. This is NFL football. So, you can't really look at him in terms of, he's been in the league 3 years, but relative to snaps, to put it in perspective, I think Tom Brady had 665 completions or attempts his final year in a year ago, and this kid has only had 420 snaps since he graduated high school like 2018. And when you think about it that way, you got to give him a little bit of time. You got to give him some leeway. And it's a gradual progression. Every time he plays. He's got to
warm up every time he comes in because he's got no prior experience really to kind of jump into it, even though he's been playing obviously football a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
essentially
in terms of
it's still not long enough. You know what I mean?
You ain't played no snap. That's why they asked him at the booth afterwards, hey, was this what number of game-winning drives is this for you? He was like, yeah, this is like the first one. And it was because the kid ain't been playing that long, and he was
And one thing I noticed from Trey Lance when he was running, he felt it looked like he was practicing his speed, because when he was avoiding the pressure, like, it was much cleaner. It's like finally you're seeing the speed that you saw in college. Again, he was playing with the third and fourth stringers at that time already, but I started to see him, and then he started to get so comfortable. And there was a bunch of moments where, like, it looked like everything was clean, but when you saw the replay, those pockets were breaking down, and he was staying in the pocket, what Jimmy G used to do, and deliver the ball. So I think Kyle is like, I want to see him in that situation where he stays in there and gets that ball out. And I think Kyle is finally starting to see that stuff that he wants to implement in his offense. So I'm not saying he blew everybody out, but in just 1 week he looked way better than the week before.
He had like 6 consecutive passes. Hold on, Corey. He had 6 consecutive passes, and all of them were for the pocket, which is his weak point. You know what I mean? Like, he's not very strong in the pocket, and he showed us, hey, I can command the pocket at times.
I can get there. And he can. He's gonna.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
Okay, let me bring this other guy in. Coming in, my brother, Big Mac Sports.
What's up, fellas?
What's up?
Hey, Big Mac, long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while, but the season's coming upon us, so gotta get back to this.
Back there so long.
Oh, I heard you guys talking about sweaters, so I'm gonna take the sweater off. It's hot in here.
Have you seen that though? He's always wearing like a sweater.
Yeah, he's just like what's his name, Ryan Hensley. They have that. They got that air conditioning going.
Yeah, they must be cranking that AC up, man. I stayed on 74, man, and put a ceiling fan on, but they might got that thing down to 60.
Yeah,
What's up, Big Mac?
What's up, dude? Corona? Man, the whole gang is in here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, who started singing? Because I heard some singing going on last night.
Oh,
yesterday.
I did a little bit of singing.
No.
Oh yeah, Corey was singing. He said, I don't know how to say it. He was singing 3 different songs.
I did a rendition of If I Were a Rich Man. I also did Minnie the Moocher by Cab Calloway.
Minnie the Moocher, made famous by the Blues Brothers.
Yes, exactly where that. Hey, Blues Brothers is my favorite soundtrack of a movie ever.
Wow!
And
Blues Brothers.
and Pulp Fiction is my second.
I'm big. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
Let me see. Go ahead, because I forgot now.
I saw Pulp Fiction in the theaters when I was 11 3 times. My mom took me.
As far as soundtrack, the best soundtrack of all time, the one that's got more number ones than Cam Newton Day at a Jersey sale in Charlotte, is Saturday Night Fever. Saturday Night Fever is the quintessential soundtrack of all time, man. The Bee Gees just totally kill that one.
I hate.
Then I got to go to Superfly. The movie motion picture soundtrack of Superfly is just incredible. The movie Life and The Bodyguard soundtrack. Oh, Whitney Houston just murdered everything on that.
And then Martin murdered it afterwards.
Man, that I will always love. I will always love you. Done by Whitney Houston registers to every soldier from, if you were in the army from 1980 to 1995, that Whitney Houston, she can do no wrong after that national anthem she did.
Do you remember when Martin slaughtered that while singing it to Gina?
Oh man, everybody does because nobody can do it like Whitney.
I loved Whitney once I heard her say that children were the future. I was like, she understands.
Oh,
she understands.
Yeah, just
okay. I remember now what I was going to ask.
She's a good singer.
What I was watching, I was on with into Bashar 49er Minded, and he had two people to come on his calling show, and these two people called Trey Lance a bus.
Oh wow, how'd that go?
Oh, it was. They keep on. It was Bashar, John V, and Pete. I can't remember the other guy's name, but they kept on trying to explain to this guy, and this guy kept on saying, "Y'all can keep on giving Trey an excuse, but we gave up two first round, third round, and all this stuff for him,
and we sat on our hands with him."
Mm-hmm. But
look what happens when he gets reps, right? Look what happens when he gets reps.
I was
also like, it took him what, year 3, and now he's got his throwing motion going. That the 49ers shouldn't even have had him in camp without getting that stuff worked out. You spent 3 first rounds on him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your big thing. So now you need to make sure he's mechanically sound before you bring him in and have him start throwing. Or what's the sense? You're going to have a quarterback that knows your system and can't throw a ball correctly.
In terms of a draft choice, man, my cousin and I broke it down like this, man. If you aren't picking a transitional can't miss kid in the first round, I mean, plug and play, this kid we project is going to be in the Pro Bowl, not just starting, but he's going to be a Pro Bowl player. Go ahead and do like Bill Belichick and get out of the first round. Trade it out. Just trade it out, because that first round guy has got to be can't miss, transitional, is going to make my team better from day one for the next 10 years. You got to feel that confident with it. If not, don't draft that kid. You're putting immense pressure on a kid when you get him in the first round and you trade it up and everything. You got to feel like this is the dude. This is it. But what happened? They changed the collective bargaining years ago because guys like Jamarcus Russell, and there was a quarterback named it wasn't Mark Sanchez, it was Sam Bradford. In fact, they used to get so much in terms of astronomical sums as a quarterback being drafted in the first round. I mean, it would ruin your franchise if the guy didn't work out, you know.
Yes.
So they capped it a little bit and made it so, well, you can go ahead and draft a first round kid, and if it doesn't work out, he's not only making 9-10 million, but it used to be, oh, you got to pay him $100 million if you get him in the first round. So the 49ers sensed a little bit of leeway that way, and they said, well, maybe we can get a little bit of a project here, and hopefully he'll develop and hit by year 2 or year 3.
And they knew he was a project.
And they knew he was a project.
And then it's like you bought something and it didn't come with the power cord. So instead of going and find the power cord that works with it and ordering that online, you just tossed it aside like it was going to fix itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't mind going out and spending capital on a project. If you're going to see the project through, you got to see the project through. Or like you said, just trade out. Just trade out.
Yeah, you trade out. I will.
You could have traded down and you could have used
those
picks to pick up quarterbacks and then have 3 or 4 guys come into camp and then figure out who's the best one.
Yeah, that's my personal belief on draft choices. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry. You there, Dave?
Let me bring him back in.
But that's my personal belief. That's my little algorithm in terms of draft
What in
choices,
the heck?
man. The first round guy has got to hit, and I got to know where he's going to play. And this guy has got to be the one. I know he's going to be a Pro Bowler in here for the next 10 years. If you don't feel that good with it, trade down. Pick up a couple of twos. Let's get 3 threes or something else, and pick up on some more quality hits that we hit on guys like Kittle. We hit on guys like Alexander. We hit on guys, in the later draft choices. Go ahead, Brian.
Look at
All right,
DTR.
so this is what our problem is. Sorry, Ryan. This is our
No, you're
problem.
good.
We all know we don't accept it. We don't agree with it, but it's out there. Kirk Cousins was the plan. Then somebody went and got Jimmy. Then he won 5 games. And then instead of letting Jimmy go and going after Kirk Cousins or going after another veteran quarterback, we said, okay, we're going to stick with Jimmy, the hot hand, right?
Could we have gone after Kirk at that time? Didn't we need like a year isn't there a year between Kirk's contract and that?
Yep.
I think there was.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was the goal. That's why we started with Brian Hoyer. Then the following season, and then I don't know when he left Washington. Was it 2018 he became a Viking, or 2019 he became a Viking? We played against him in the playoffs in 2019, so I know at least he was a Viking in 2019.
Yeah,
then he got hurt in 2018. That's where everybody got mad, and the whole hey, you got to be healthy. We're paying you this money, and you're not healthy. So then when we decided to go look for a quarterback, the Rams went faster than we did, and they got the guy that we are probably really looking for. It's Stafford. We thought we had the capital, or we could trade up to get that. We asked about Sam Darnold. We asked about Watson. We asked about Rodgers. We asked about oh my gosh, it's just one of those things. We asked so many different quarterbacks to see if we could get a vet to come in. We even inquired about
of the trade night of the draft. We even asked about Aaron Rodgers. I know you brought him up, but I think that's even
So what I'm getting at is I don't think they knew exactly which quarterback they were going to get. They knew by trading up, because they had to trade up to Miami. The Jets didn't want to relinquish their pick. We knew the Jets were going to get Zach Wilson. I think the Niners liked Zach Wilson, to be honest. Whether or not he's the pick, hindsight or not, but the Jets weren't willing to trade with us. And that's, solid, right? That should have been, like, why wouldn't there have been some kind of mutual agreement or, something? We made it. He could have taken 3. We could have taken 2. We knew Trevor Lawrence was going to go to the Jaguars. So that was out of the question. But we would have taken Trevor Lawrence if that would have been the option. The option was there. I think they really liked Justin Fields, but right after his medical issue came out,
which is bullshit,
we backed off.
It was just to tank his stock. It was you hadn't seen an issue. You hadn't seen an issue of that, having him not being able to play a game his whole college career. I don't know about high school, but you're talking about 4 years, not an incident, and you're gonna tank the young man's stock.
Somebody did it, and it's not.
That's bullshit.
It's not
bullshit.
It happens every draft, man. Somebody does that.
It was the idiot Mel Kiper who was downplaying. He was trying to be subtle. He was downplaying it. He had the nerve to call this kid out and say some things. I'm not going to say what he said, but he said he fits the mold for the 49ers. Everything really goes really well. But because Kyle Shanahan is arrogant, I'm going to put Mac Jones there. And then everyone started to piggyback off of that. I remember that draft. It was so disgusting what he did, and then all the other NFL started to piggyback and said he's going to fall to New England. And it was disgusting what they did to him.
To be honest with you guys, if we would have stayed at 12, we probably could have got Trey Lance by not saying anything. There was rumors after we traded up to 3. That was when rumors were saying, oh, the Falcons might, go after him. But prior to us moving up, there was no noise about that. If we could have stayed back, we could have either got him or Mac Jones. I didn't want Mac Jones, but looking statistically at those quarterbacks, I believe everybody says Ohio quarterbacks don't work out. I think that's the other knock on Justin Fields. But with just looking at the stats, Trey Lance was like 49 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey,
28-9.
this guy can do it. And then I'm thinking, what did Carson Wentz do? He came out of the same school. They might have like a quarterback program. They might have like a Fountain of Youth or something there, right? So I bought into the Trey Lance thing. But then he got hurt. And that's the same thing that happened to Jimmy. We can't have quarterbacks that get hurt. If you get hurt, it's almost like you just kind of sealed your fate, man. We got to move on.
Now
Unless
I
you're
heard,
like almost a generational talent.
Yeah.
Now I heard about that. Talk to this Atlanta person, and they said Atlanta was interested in getting Trey Lance.
Yep.
And so 49 said, let's move up.
Yeah. So basically,
Move up.
the plan was. I'm sorry, Corey. Let's go ahead.
We hear that, so we're going to have to move up if we want Trey. We're going to have to move up. Because that's what you do. Because you hear, just like we were talking about Jake Moody. And everybody's like, but, so we knew we had to take Jake Moody at there because part of the Patriots was going to take Jake Moody.
But Corey, the noise about Trey Lance hadn't come out until after we moved up.
No, it did came out. It did came out. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
This guy was interviewed. This lady was lady was interviewed. Atlanta person was interviewed. And she said the day before the draft, she said that Atlanta is interested in trading for Trey Lance.
Yep.
And then 49ers went up and got him.
But we traded up. We made that deal before the night of the draft. Then before the night of the draft, we used that capital to try to trade for Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, so like a lot of people don't believe me, but this is what happened. I was watching the pro days after, and this is before the Niners traded up. So there was 32 representatives. I'm not saying every coach, every general man, there was 32 NFL representatives from every 32 NFL teams. So there was a person from the 49ers, not saying he was Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, Adam Peters, or any of it. There was someone from the 49ers that went to North Dakota. Okay. They were up at the top. But there were 32 NFL people looking at this raw kid. After that day, the next day, John Lynch was spotted at BYU. The trade was done before that, before John Lynch was over there. Whoever this person was that was there in North Dakota said, call the Niners. They need to look at this kid, but they got to look at him privately. So that's how the trade happened. So it was so weird how exactly in 24 hours where everyone in the NFL network, a bunch of coaches, Pete Carroll was there too. Pete Carroll wanted him. And I didn't want that to happen. So I'm glad, so someone was there. So overall, after that situation happened, then they're like, all right, we're going to look at Trey Lance, we're going to look at Justin Fields, and we're going to look at Mac Jones. So basically, those were the three quarterbacks that they were going to be looking at. Then
you guys do remember when Trey Lance, sorry, John, you do remember when Trey Lance had his official pro day, the Niners missed it. All the other teams were there. We went and looked at other quarterbacks that day. Then we had Trey Lance have a private workout after that. But the first training camp, where the first edition for him for the league, the Niners missed it.
So
that's what I remember.
Yeah.
No, that was not true because I was watching the pro day live.
It is true, man. It is true.
I was watching it, and someone said on NFL Network, I got to speak to 32 NFL personnel from each team, individual team. Why would they say that if that was a BS? But there was someone there from the Niners.
What you're saying could totally be true, but the dates and the times aren't matching up. When they had a scout day, the Niners missed out.
Okay,
they had to redo a date and say, okay.
And that's why I said I'm not saying whoever it was not a coach, GM, part of the front office, but there was someone from the Niners who was there. Okay, so it could have been someone that Jed told to go over. Someone was there. They were not on the field, but they were in the building in there. And something, whatever happened, got leaked from the North Dakota. After the Niners got drafted, it was a leak from one of these small little newspapers. The reason why the Niners thought about it, because there was a person from San Francisco who was there, saw something and told the Niners to make a call. Then the trade happened. Again, at the end of the day, there's so many conflicting information, but that's out there. Okay, it's out there, and a lot of people in North Dakota were saying that's the reason why he got drafted from North Dakota State. So I'm not saying that this thing is BS from North Dakota State, from the state of North Dakota, from Minnesota, but it's out there. It's printed in paper. I'm not making it up. So if I read it and it's still in my damn brain, because I have OCD, I would never make up a lie to win an argument. I know what I heard.
No one's saying you're making up a lie. And yes, you might have OCD, but sometimes you might misread something or maybe misinterpret something.
Okay.
And when we have a group of people sitting here on the panel agreeing with what I said, no one's calling you a liar. So don't go defensive. Don't do that. What we're asking you is
okay. Let's calm it down. Let's calm it down. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Okay, let's not go there.
No one's calling anyone a liar.
Let's not go there.
This ain't a Friday night show.
It's a Sabbath. Let's keep it peaceful.
Make it holy.
Anybody's story could be right.
I do remember us sending Trey a week's worth of plays or
yes,
a play book, a mini playbook, so to speak, and him being able to regurgitate the information and absorb it, and us being pretty impressed with that. I don't know exactly who gave it to him or how it was given, but I remember hearing stories about how Kyle was very impressed with the fact that he absorbed our playbook and what we do very, very well, and that factored into the decision very much. Either way, it is unprecedented for you to go after a quarterback who only had a season's worth of starts after his high school graduation. The great Bill Parcells, and I'm shouting out YTC here. The great Bill Parcells had some commandments in the fact of who he would draft as a quarterback. And he said he wanted somebody who graduated college. He wanted somebody who had at least 30 starts and won 23 of them with a percentage of 66%. And he was an impactful person to that college institution who knew how to handle pressure. He played at a Power 5, and I would add the caveat, my two personal things: somebody who did not necessarily play with first round receivers, because the Alabama guys do this a lot. You get these guys who have all these wins and have all these starts, but dag, you played with Jerry Jeudy and daggone Julio Jones and daggone, you're gonna look pretty good with those guys. I like the guy who didn't play with first round guys, and I want to look at your institution before they came, and then your institution after they left. And you might have been sorry before these guys came, and then after they left, your program goes down again. You, my friend, make up what I am looking for in the National Football League, added to those caveats of 30 starts and 23 wins. That's my personal thing.
And I was trying to tell you guys that I wasn't on, I was in the backstage, but I wanted to tell them why y'all hating on Trey. Why you mad at Trey? Trey didn't make 49ers trade up. It wasn't his fault.
No, Trey did not. Trey did not go and manipulate. Yes, sir.
He didn't have nothing to do with that.
Preach.
I said I wanted to tell them, y'all need to look at the people that's in charge.
Trey does everything that's asked of him,
and he impresses me by accepting. He has accepted the challenges and gone on and went out and got himself better. From my reports, Kyle wanted him to work with John Beck in the QB school with John Beck and them. Trey went out on his own and went to Christensen and said, "Look, I don't work with these guys for 2 years. This is what I need to do. I got to get with Mahomes and his crew. I got to get this throwing motion better. I'm going to get better my own self." Trey has put in the work. Trey had to come back off an injury. Trey had to do a lot of stuff and absorb things. He saw it all happening around him when he got hurt. He saw Brock Purdy come in. Brock Purdy came in here, and this is why I like this kid a great deal. Brock Purdy came in here and had basically the success that what I thought and dreamed that Trey Lance was going to have year two. He came in here in that first 6 games staring down 0 Thunder Blitz. They call it 0 rain in Miami, and beating those blitzes and going against the GOAT the next week and going against a very impressive Washington Commanders team that next week and going against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle that next week and winning and knocking down every obstacle, getting the ball out on time, getting the prerequisite guys better in our system. George Kittle was on a milk box with Jimmy G. We were thinking about trading George Kittle. Maybe George Kittle is done. Maybe it's all over. He resurged George Kittle's career. This is other than CMC. A lot of people are going to say maybe it was all CMC. It was all CMC. No, Brandon Ayuk got better with Brock Purdy. He saw that this dude came in here and
was a
is
Trey
doing
Lance
it
question.
like he's supposed to do. So I'm not going to take nothing away from Trey Lance. I don't have to. The kid's doing the best he possibly can, and he has improved, and he's going to play quarterback in the National Football League. So the detractors and everybody who's calling him a bust, it's going to work. I'm just saying for the record, Brock Purdy came in here pretty special and ready to go. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry. Did I step on anybody's toes or say something wrong?
Nope.
It just
No.
went on a
But I'm saying we only have 8
question
games.
into another.
Considering what happened with James Richard Garoppolo and 5 games, we signed him to a huge contract that didn't work out. I'm not ready to anoint anybody after 8 games. I'm just not. I need to see him do it again, whole season, deep into the playoffs. If he wins the Super Bowl, then okay. But I need to see more than just 8 games out of him.
And that's fair, but I already saw the 8 games. I already saw the stats, and we already saw deep into the playoffs. And I dare venture to say, if Brock Purdy does not get hurt with 7 minutes left in the quarter by number 7, I think we would have been in the Super Bowl last. I know. I can't remember. It's like a wise man told me, Elder Reggie in it. He says, I can't remember exactly what you said to me, but I remember how you made me feel. I remember very vividly how I felt going into that NFC Championship game with one Brock Richard Purdy as my quarterback, and I felt every bit of confidence as I feel today. I felt it like I ain't felt it no more. I knew we had a smoker and we could beat those Philadelphia Eagles with Brock Richard Purdy, born December 27, 1999, as our quarterback, and I still feel it today. I did not look into that flashy thing that the Men in Black looked in and lose my memory. I know what I saw all last year in those 8 games when he was putting up 33.5 a game, more than James Richard Garoppolo. They are not the same to me. James Richard Garoppolo did not do well in this playoff game early with us. And James Richard Garoppolo, he was a daggone, he was a 4-year vet and had sat behind the GOAT for 4 years, wearing 2 Super Bowl rings where he took what we call in golf the champagne ride. This kid came in the year before, a year removed, was at Iowa State going to classes, dating cheerleaders, and came in and put up more points per game than James Richard Garoppolo. It's simple as that. I don't need to like which it comes who's my man? The logo. Jerry West said when he saw Kobe Bryant, I don't need to see Kobe go to the playoffs and do all of that. All I need is 30 minutes. That's the best damn ball player I done seen in 20 years. Sign him up.
Okay, Big Mac, what you think?
I agree with what Terradome's saying. You know, the only thing that I mean, I had the same feeling too last year, and I'm sure all of us had that same feeling that if Brock Purdy didn't get hurt, he was going to take us there. It was going to happen. The championship would have came back to San Francisco. It would have came back, but he got hurt, and we know how everybody felt after he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It was like deflation. Oh, everything was gone.
Yep.
It was lost. There was a little bit of hope when Johnson made a couple of throws, but then it was gone shortly after that, and it was done. It was done.
Yeah, man.
And no, but Brock Purdy, he came in. He's polished. He was polished. He was ready to go. He was ready to go when he came in there, and that's how everybody should think when they go into the league. You're ready to go. I think I made a comment. CG was on with the tight end's dad yesterday, Tony.
Braden Willis.
Yeah, Braden Willis' dad. Yeah. And I was like, hey, it doesn't matter how you get into the league. It's what you do when you get there.
That's it.
That's it. Because I'm a players guy. There's a lot of players that I know that's playing right now. A lot of young ones that are coming up. They're going to be going into the NFL. And man, I just tell them every time when I talk with them, I say, just get there and just do your thing, and it'll all play out and work out for you. And I really believe that Trey Lance that's what's going through his mind right now, because there's a lot of people that probably told him this offseason, you just gotta do your thing, and he was doing it. The offseason, what was he doing? He went to go with Patrick Mahomes. He's trying to get everything right. And if you're watching that game, it's up right now. I'm watching some of it right now, some of the highlights of the game. And what I see is a young man that there was a couple of plays that JT said, dude, this is the kind of play that gets you out of the league this quick. But then he turned it around right after that, and we saw it on 2 drives. So it's up to Trey Lance where he's going to be at in 10 years or where he's going to be at in a couple of months, because it can end that quickly for any of these players. So I'm the type of guy that I don't criticize a lot of players, but then when you see things come out from ESPN calling him like a bust pretty much today, and they didn't even watch the game. They got it because he heard it from somebody else.
Exactly.
And I'm like, that's freaking BS.
They don't know. They don't know. Yeah. Shady McCoy, I heard them too. I heard all of them. Mike Lombardi, and they don't know. That their job is to watch 32 teams and come up with their stuff. So all you're getting is 1/32 of a pie. And even that, you don't know anything. You didn't go to a practice. You weren't there for the draft. You don't go on to nothing but Niners. You don't go to Brian Cope. You don't go to Real Talk, Niner Talk. You don't go to this. You don't go to that. You don't go to JT O'Sullivan. You don't go to Johnny Dales. You have no idea what it is to put on this red and gold. You weren't there for the rings. You weren't there for the championships. You weren't there for anything else. You weren't there in Green Bay when it was frigid 11 degrees at kickoff. You don't know this team. You don't know us. So stay out of family business. We here. Step in and step out, monitoring and doing any and everything for the San Francisco 49ers. We spend this money. We have these platforms. We are the content creators. And this is what I know.
So that's why we're here.
with everybody, who's been here, I think we got a good idea who's been a coach or maybe a referee or a teacher at one time. I have never been one of those, but I've been a trainer. Every job I've had, I've become very, very skilled at and been able to train someone to maybe either replace me or do the same thing and bring them into a good position. So, can anyone really say being a coach, or maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way? Maybe there's two different types of coaches, but can you really call a player a bust if you're coaching them?
I
Can you
would
really?
never.
Can you really? I mean, like, don't you have heart and feelings? You could say, "I don't want you on my team. We're gonna move off." We're gonna. But are you really calling a kid or a player? If a player's 20 something years old, he's still a kid, or he's an adult because now
Did
he's
you hear
20.
the Mike Tomlin quote?
What did Mike from Virginia say? I know he said something
He
wise.
said, it says a coach calling a player uncoachable is just gaslighting for their own their own lack of talent and coaching. Like,
Yeah.
So someone, yes, can be a bust if they put no physical effort behind something.
Mm-hmm.
But to say that you can't get the best out of somebody being a coach if somebody applies themselves is totally false. You know what I mean?
I know it's a football show, but who's the basketball player? Bigsby, the short little dude. He's like 5'3" or something like that. He played for
Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy Bogues.
Thank you.
Bogues.
Thank you.
Muggsy
So
Bogues.
you can't teach somebody height. You can't teach somebody, to run faster. But they can work really hard and they can have heart. But you can coach somebody out of that, right? So for again, any of these analysts or content creators, me, anybody coming out and calling a player a bust, it's not really fair because you're not there in camp seeing what they're doing or in the locker room, the meeting, or anything like that. So it's your opinion, and everybody has an opinion, and we know what that can be.
What's
I
up,
got a saying for
Raphael?
those type of guys. I got a saying for those type of guys. If they're gonna call somebody a bust, how come they're not in the NFL? How come they're not in the NBA? Right? So they're the bust for saying that.
They were the bust first.
Mm-hmm.
When you judge somebody on something that you don't professionally do yourself and you're critiquing them, then I think you should politely do it. You shouldn't come out and say it like so in such a way where it's in a derogatory manner, because you should respect what they're doing. Now, if you've done it in the past,
are you taking a shot at David McNiner?
I'm not taking a shot at anyone. I'm telling you, this is
talk about Mike McGlinchey. I'm just not in derogatory terms. And James Richard Garoppolo.
No, because I'm not. No, because I don't.
I did it too.
Mike McGlinchey got thrown out the club like Jazzy Jeff on the Fresh Prince.
No, I'm not taking a shot at anyone, because if you think about it, I think David, if he's seen them, he would say it to him possibly. But you know what? He'd get him to laugh. He'd walk away probably having a new friend, because that's the type of person David McNiner is. He'd probably be like, hey, I've talked about you a whole lot, and this part, but, I don't think David does not have respect for people. I think David would, be able to cut it up with just about anybody.
David, are you walking up to McGlinchey and being like, hey, let's go have a beer together?
I think he would if he could. Why not, right?
Hey, why not? Why not? I'll be like, well, let's go have a talk about what happened between you and Micah Parsons. Let's go have a beer.
That's the only thing I'm talking about. That's the only thing I'm talking about. And he's not
the bull rushed by Irvin.
He's probably buying you drinks.
And Mike McGlinchey would probably be like, oh.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he got me on that one, dog. Yeah.
What about
the announcements with him? But
what time? What about the time where quarterback got messed up and you just ran off the field like it wasn't your guy who did it?
Yeah,
I ain't see it. Yeah, man. I just like, it happens. I was hoping nobody would notice.
Whoops.
I'm only on national TV and 6'8".
It's only my job. Like he's damn near a lookout out there.
It's like,
okay.
Oh well.
Brian, you saying you hear the echo?
Yes, I think someone has their volume or something up in the background, their audio for YouTube or something. So if anybody wants that,
I have these in and I can hear it.
Yeah. It was
So
it was happening when Pterodon was talking, and I don't hear it to everybody. Like when Big Mac came in, I didn't hear it, but I just want everybody to check it. So because everybody's got good opinions, and we all want to be over it.
Yeah,
yeah,
I can
I would
hear a
also
little bit.
like to ask. While me and McGlinchey are having this beer, I'd like to ask him. So, that game in the Commanders, did you get that mosquito?
Oh my gosh.
uh,
Oh, come
yeah,
on, no, come on! Everyone's got to remember that.
yeah.
Sleeping on the snap, then he comes up and walks a mosquito.
Oh
I
man,
feel like
he did that?
who was our QB? That was Brock Purdy, right?
Oh
So
my
we got to
god.
ask Brock Purdy: did you get bit by a mosquito, or did Mike McGlinchey win?
Yeah.
It kind of
And-
looks like when you wake somebody up real quick. Either
Mhm.
that or like one of them, like when the boxers get knocked out and then their arms do something weird. You know what I mean? Like it was something like that.
He goes played.
I know I'm a boxing guy. It's called a delay reaction where the brain is fried, but the nerves of the body is still moving. So
Yep.
it's a
And
delay
speaking of
reaction.
bad tackle play, man, Jalen Moore, man, I don't know, man.
I agree.
Oh my god.
I don't think he's making the squad, buddy.
Why was
he's
why
cut.
was he in camp this year? What made us think like we have seen this guy for years now and his trajectory isn't anywhere close to up. It's like fluctuating in the wind. Like he just needs to go and move on. Chris Forrester, like, bro, are you just like getting these like you getting to know these guys too much and like becoming attached?
And
What
every
is the deal?
every time I see Matt Pryor, man, he's he's chasing the guy who's sacking my guy, man. I don't know.
Feliciano was doing horrible last game. Oh my god. It was horrible.
Yep.
Was it that right side?
He was at center at
Feliciano
one
was
point.
playing that right side.
And
was
then
in the
right
middle.
guard. He was at
He was in
center
the middle.
and guard. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So
The way I see it, the only offensive lineman who can stay on our team and suck is Alfredo Gutierrez.
Yep.
That's my G. You know what I mean?
Gutierrez.
What do you guys think about that Il Manning kid?
Il Man is all right.
Yeah.
Il Man is
His
all right.
technique is pretty sound.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's pretty sound.
So
He's okay.
I want to, piggyback from the why the term a bust. So I've watched football long enough. The coaches back then were very different than today. And again, I don't want to speak out of turn that is not football or sports, but the world has changed, and the way we look at news in general, is like a goldfish, like 8 seconds, and then there's a new memory. So a lot of the new fans are like a goldfish, but back then, that was a high standard, and players competed much different. So when you were drafted, the term was, we're going to develop you for 3 years. If we don't see significant growth, which is different than just say, oh, this guy's a bust just because I don't like him. Or back then, players knew I had to develop, I had to get better, and I had to get better each year after year. Because back then, the contracts were not how they're set up. Because after the 2011 collective bargaining agreement, the contracts all changed. Back then, they would sign you for 5, 6, 7 years. I remember when we drafted Alex Smith, we gave him a 7-year contract. It was very different how it was today. Like if you're a quarterback or any rookie in the first round, you get paid that 4-year scale. It was very different back then. So they would give you, and then after halfway through that contract, they're like, okay, now we're going to move away from you. And when they moved away from you, you basically bust your way out. That's the term. You busted your way out of a team, and we're basically putting you somewhere else, and you had a chance to reinvent yourself. That's how it was. As a coach myself, I would tell parents straight up, some kids play until they're in 8th grade and they're done. Some kids play in high school. After that, they're done. Some kids play, we're not kids no more till 21, because most 21, 22-year-olds are graduating, and the very 1% of those kids that were 5 years old are going to have that career. So it is a term coaches, how I was taught, how they were taught. Some kids will play little league and they're done. Some kids will play high school and they're done. And some will go to college. Maybe some will go to minor league, semi-pro. Some go until they're 40 and then they're done. That's how it used to be when it came to sports. Now today it's very different. If you draft somebody, it's that goal. Oh, you got to be really good. And again, you look at Mahomes, what he did after he took over, what he did. So, and then a lot of these new flashy young quarterbacks, what they're doing, they're flashy. They're putting the stats up, but they're not winning. And I think that's what, fans want. I want the flashy new toy. I want the numbers. I want the 5,000-yard number. I want the 50 touchdowns. If you're like, if you're winning and, and your team, we don't want that. We don't want that. So that's why if you're not doing that, I think that's what the problem is in today's, because what Lamar did. Oh, I want that. I want Lamar. Or what Josh Allen is doing, or what Kyler Murray is doing. Unfortunately, those are good players, but they're on teams that those guys have to carry. That's why they're never going to be in a Super Bowl, with all due respect to those other fan bases.
You know who else made a lot of mistakes too? On the defense? What's his name? Oh god, I just was looking at him.
Womack?
No, I thought it was Womack, but it was number 26 now. Oliver.
Yeah, he's having a little rough couple of weeks.
Yeah,
What about
he missed a lot of tackles.
Yeah.
What about the other guy, number 0?
Considering what the other defensive backs are doing, I don't know if he's going to make the team.
Yeah, Womack should have got that pick. He's wearing 0.
Yep.
Yeah, that guy.
And if he would have got it, that we wouldn't even been in that position to get that big play that Jair Alexander makes a heck of a play on that goal line, man, to stop that score at the end of the half there. That should have been 6. But hey, I rather lucky than good. We say in golf,
I don't know. I don't know if that was luck. I think Jair's, I know you weren't saying that he was being lucky because he's consistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he makes plays. He makes plays.
We got a good one there.
Great play, man. And it was right at the goal line. Yep. And then they ran out of time. They got dacked. That's how we beat the Cowboys year before last.
Let me see.
Hey, look at Denny's. They closed out Denny's here.
You're so lucky.
I think Terradome and Smitty are watching the exact same game at the same time because
it's the rebroadcast. Corey told me it was on, so I went to the NFL Network.
If you're a breakfast place and your biscuits and sausage gravy looks like it has little itty bitty turds in it, I'm sorry. You're marked off my list for eternity.
We called it SOS in the military.
No, that's different.
Shit on a shingle.
I
That's
know what
it is.
My grandma we used to get that. I used to get my grandpa.
Oh yeah, SOS.
SOS, yeah. Give me that SOS boy in the morning.
We used to. She used to do the cream chip beef. Chip. Yeah. This is. They have this. Denny's had these little rabbit turd looking sausage pieces in their gravy, and I seen that and I was like, never again will I eat here.
Denny's was cool.
I'm sorry, I'm a snob.
I'm a Waffle House guy though. I like Waffle House.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't really like Waffle House, but I love Waffle House and Cracker Barrel.
Okay, everybody be quiet for a minute. Mute your mics for a minute. David Corona, talk.
Oh, hello? Hello? What's up?
No, it's not him.
we can hear you.
Let me find
No, it's an echo. Somebody's echo. It's pleasant when Terradome talk. I hear echo.
Am I echoing? Echoing? Echoing?
No.
Is it me? Is it me?
If people
Test
turn
1,
if
2.
people turn off their screen like this, and then you can see who's doing it when Terror talks.
I turned off my screen. Can y'all see me? I need an avatar.
Oh, mine's down here. Okay.
Is everybody unmuted?
Hey, all you got to do is download a picture.
Everybody unmute.
I'm
Yep.
unmuted.
Big Mac, you unmuted?
I'll mute.
No, don't mute. Unmute.
Oh. Sorry.
Big Mac, are
don't
you
don't
unmuted?
mute, because then we'll
already
see
asked
where the
Brian.
little
I already asked Brian
bit of
if
sound
it
is
was
coming
me.
from.
Now, Big Mac, I don't think it's you. Your mic sounds good. It happens when Pterodome's talking,
What
but
the
I think
heck?
it's on someone else's end.
That's what I'm saying. If you're doing it on a phone, there's a chance that it could be going from the speaker into the mic. That's what I was.
I'm on the phone too.
Yeah.
What kind of phone is that though? Corona, is it Droid or Apple? Is it what is it?
I got an Android.
Okay, a Samsung.
Yes.
Okay, then I can tell you it's probably not that, because I used to stream in my Droid pad, and it actually has a sound elimination for the mic.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh yeah.
I used to have trouble with my Samsung though. I'd have to keep it. I couldn't crank it up too high because it would come back in. That's how I know about.
I put on my noise canceling. Is that any better?
It shouldn't be
Yes.
from you. It should be coming from somebody else's speaker that is taking your sound that they're hearing and pumping it in.
I'm not actually hearing it anymore.
I'm not
Yeah.
either.
So
All right, well maybe that's the key. I put on some noise canceling on the old sound bar.
all right,
It's
come on
all
back,
love.
everybody. There we go.
It's all love. Yep. It's all about technology, learning how to
Yeah,
manipulate.
Get some good technology in here. Yeah, there it is.
John
Yeah,
Jay
yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to be
Pterodome, if you
different.
have a picture you like, you could just download it. You know, even while you're on screen, you could download the picture you like, and adjust it for your audio avatar.
Go to the three little dots
I
on
got
your
all
picture.
kinds of them.
Go to the three
I've
little.
been trying to do that for the last 3 days.
Go to the three little dots on the picture underneath the big screen of us, and
Okay.
it says edit audio avatar.
Okay. I got a
And
new
then-
one.
This
just
is
now.
my this is
And
my
then you can
OG.
upload. You can upload and save and all that good stuff.
Well, this is a sweet one.
Did it do it? No.
I've been trying to switch my picture for the
It
last
didn't
3
do it.
days.
What the heck?
Still can't do it.
Do it. There we go. See, that's my OG.
Hey,
All right, let's do this.
let's get the squabble.
How's that look? That's a sweet one, right?
Like
Oh, you want the
Mac.
squabble?
Wow.
Pterodome, that looks
You want
like
the
you're
squabble.
expecting your money.
Mm.
There you go. There's a Sea
Man, how
Chickens
you guys-
fan that lost a bet.
You're
Yeah,
missing it.
buddy. That's awesome.
How you guys do that? How you guys do that?
That's awesome, Pterodome.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah,
thank
there's
you.
squabble after he lost his bet when the Sea Chickens lost 3 in a row to us. Three last season.
Wow.
That's right.
Yeah.
Green pie to the
Great.
face.
Oh, okay. So you just go to the audio avatar to change it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I've
You
been
can even
trying
download,
to
like,
do
if
it.
you hit the plus, you can download a picture that's downloaded on your device. It'll give you a couple different options of where you can look and whatnot.
Let me look for the fattest picture.
I got
On
that
mine,
one.
on mine it says see how big the picture you want. Zoom in, and it has a little box like that, and it
Oh yeah,
doesn't
you can
have
adjust it.
yeah, but it doesn't have nothing
Got
to
that
like to save the picture. It just has the X, and that's it. I can't save it to so I could go on my like that. So I've been trying for the last 3
Yeah,
days. I still can't do it.
That used to be
Oh.
Auntie number one. She ain't
Hold
Auntie
on.
number one anymore.
Do you have a StreamYard set up? Because you might not be able to load it and save it to something you don't have in
Yeah, I really
an
like
account.
her.
So if you don't have like a free account set up, it might not remember your stuff.
Even my wife was helping me yesterday, and then
you're making the poor lady have to deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Here she is recovering, and you're stressing her out with StreamYard.
Right.
I need my avatar picture. Come on, babe. I'm resting. I need my
had
strength.
I had to crop the hell out of that one because that's pretty much all I could show you of that photograph right there. You know, on YouTube
Right.
safely anyway.
All right. I see you there. Life is good.
Right. Right. Who's that? A picture of your profile you just had?
McNina, look at John Jay's picture.
David.
I know,
What?
that's awesome.
Did you not hear the host of the show trying to talk to somebody?
No, you don't.
Sorry.
That's why when I always say.
I was talking to Corona. Sorry, David. McNiner.
This is Jake Moody.
Oh, Jake Moody. Okay.
You should have known.
It might be easier if you guys just call us by our last names there. You know, don't we?
Hey, Pacifico, you better stop talking over people.
You got the wrong guy.
Oh, are you a woman?
That's how I introduced him, remember? I said the person is going to talk over you.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, it's always fun. I like talking to everyone. It's always fun. We might not always agree, but we're good friends. We can always come back and talk again. You know, again, John, love your opinions and stuff. And you know, same with you, Board of Sports. You're the realist. Faradome, you know who you are. You're my buddy. David, you're my buddy. David, you're my buddy. Big Mac, you're my buddy. Corey, you're my brother. So with that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and head out, and I will see you guys later. But
you guys got different mamas?
All the mamas. Shout out to all the mamas out there.
Yeah, before you go, Ryan. Yeah, you know, we always have our strong opinions when we have conversations, but at the end of the day, we're Niner brothers. We're Niner brothers for life.
Yep, and good conversations because it only makes you go and research it, or me go and research it and see if we're right, and you know, it only makes us stronger and smarter as fans. But thank you guys for having me on.
Brian, if I don't talk to you for your birthday on Thursday, you have a good birthday, and good happy 30th birthday.
Oh, thank you very much.
If I don't get to see you on my show on Thursday, because you out there celebrating.
Oh boy,
it'll be Kobe Bryant's birthday day.
We'll definitely figure something
24.
out. I don't we'll definitely figure something out. But thanks, guys. I'm gonna get out. And
All right, Brian.
All right,
All right, Brian. Have a good night, buddy.
And then there was 7.
Hey, what am I doing down here?
The man.
You blinked off, and then you and Max switched places.
Feel like the Brady Bunch.
Oh, Big Mac is Alice.
I knew Lil Ryan liked my bald head.
No. Oh, I'm just saying you're Alice. I didn't say, you know, I don't.
Do you want me to cook for you or something? Is that why you're telling me I'm Alice?
Sure. No, remember in the block, Alice was in the middle.
Alice was in the middle.
Oh, she was in the middle.
Yeah.
That show was so long ago. I can't even remember. Now I'm gonna have to go watch it. Reruns.
Some important life lessons in the Brady Bunch.
Yeah,
especially when
don't steal a tiki
when your voice was changing when Peter was singing with the group. Don't mess with that tiki, man. And I think Jimmy Garoppolo was our tiki with that music that would come.
Right?
Because when he was around, something janky would happen.
when his feet got all choppy, you're like, oh no, oh no.
Oh, here it.
Do y'all think how do Hard Knocks choose who they gonna go to? Y'all think Hard Knocks went to the Jets because of Aaron Rodgers?
Most definitely.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
They had a good
Because the Jets
storyline.
were trying to get out of it, and they were like, "Nope, you
no.
can't."
So basically, NFL
they knew.
teams NFL teams don't like doing Hard Knocks. So what they do is they pay the NFL, a certain amount of money, and then they ask like the bottom teams, like the teams like horrible, and they can say no, and then they just go down the list until a team says yes. Sometimes they have to give team compensation because on what's on Hard Knocks is what it's the real stuff. And I've been a Hard Knocks fan since 2005, and back then it was unfiltered. It was very different. Now players have to be really careful. When they did the Rams and the Chargers in 2020, Aaron Donald, like every time he was filmed, he would turn away from the camera. He did not want to be in front of the camera. But Hard Knocks, they have cameras everywhere, everywhere. Like there is no privacy. They put them in your hotel. If you have your family, they put them in your children's room. That's why teams don't want to do it. They get very personal, very, very personal.
Yes. Side note, Dave, that ball was off of his helmet, man. Ronnie Bell, they just played it again. It just went through his hands. It was a gun, and it popped way off his helmet. Like,
Yeah.
Well, you saw what I was talking about when I say if Darnold would have thrown to his left more, he would have been able to.
Yeah, if he would have let
You
him,
see what I'm
he would've
talking
let him
about.
Yeah, 12 inches in front of the numbers. That's what Bill Walsh
Yep.
preached. But it was right on him, and it came really, really quick, and boom, it was went right through his hand. But unfortunate, it happened.
I'll catch you guys next time. You guys have a good night.
Take it easy, David.
All right,
All right,
David.
All right, David. Have a good night, buddy.
Yeah,
Can't
you
wait for you
too.
to talk over us again.
Oh, yep. Like always, go
Yeah.
Niners and
Yes,
F program.
like always. How are you gonna steal his shit when he's right here? Hey,
That's funny.
oh,
let's see. So did y'all hear that? The Stars gonna play next week again.
oh yeah.
I thought they wouldn't because I first thought, because how they usually do it, because it's close to cut day. They want to get all the players that's not probably gonna make the team that have to fight for a spot. And they usually don't have the starters play. Last game, somebody else just disappeared.
We lost Terradome.
Tear
Uh-oh. I'm sure he'll be back. We normally play our starters in the last game. Not necessarily the whole game, but we make sure they get out there and they get used to a more aggressive game style. I think you might see some starters go out early, like a Gibson, and see somebody like Jair Brown come in. I see somebody like Debo going out early, and Ronnie Bell coming in and playing large amount of snaps. So or maybe use check and then Coletto comes in. I see a lot of stuff like that, to kind of get those guys their snaps early, so then they can turn around and give the cut players like the whole second half. You know what I mean? I think that's what's going to happen.
I would like to see Trey Lance in there with the first with the first team, just behind the line.
I would too. I would like to see it for a series. Like, let Trey Lance get the first series. You know what I mean? And then
or even the second
Brock come in.
series let Brock play the first series and then he comes in the second series and play with the starters, so we can see where he's at, because he's been playing with a lot of the backups, and man, that they're off. The offensive line is not good with our backups.
He was, dude. That fourth quarter, I think it wasn't great on the offensive line, but it seemed like it was manageable enough for Trey to work with it.
Yeah.
So I was excited to see that
Well, it would have
both
been
things there.
the second stringers that were pretty bad because some of those other guys were the third stringers that were playing. So
it seemed like our second stringers are worse on the offensive line than our third stringers are against third stringers. Yeah.
Because we saw that in the Raiders game.
Yeah. No, we did because Sam Darnold didn't have pressure like that.
Yeah, because he came in with the third stringers.
Right.
So yeah, I would love to see Trey Lance, work a little bit with the first string guys and see if he's making better decisions. I mean, there was a couple questionable decisions today or yesterday, but he cleaned it up afterwards.
He definitely got in a groove.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He definitely got in a true groove. And it's just sad it takes him so long to get warmed up. That's why also like giving him a series with the starters might not even be really worth it. Because if he's not in a groove, he'll kind of squandered it. You know what I mean? Because it might be like a 3 and out, something like that. We've seen it takes him a second to get all warmed up, but after that, like, dude, that last quarter was great to see from him. He was throwing with anticipation. He was doing everything we wanted him to really do. So it was good to see.
Yeah. Well, guys, it was good seeing you guys. I gotta go sleep for work.
Yeah.
I
got to get up at 4.
But sports. Back when it was 4 preseason games, they used to do like this: the first 2, only quarter starters, but then the third one, all the starters stay in the whole half.
Yep.
Halftime, and then on the 4th game, none of the starters played. Only the backups.
Yep.
I get that, Corey.
They want to see who's going. That's when they know who's going to make the team.
Yeah.
Who's not.
Those are the players fighting for roster spots. And that's why I know the NFL. The NFL is the real reason why they don't want preseason. They're trying to eliminate it, but you need games, not one game, and especially not 2 games, because that's not going to work. So they got to keep three games minimum, because I've seen football long enough, and I've seen teams they got the number 1 pick, and what they would do is they would play the starters, players who are at the top of the depth chart, and the rookies and all the new players they brought in. They would play them 1 quarter. Game number 2, they will play up another quarter. Game 3, sometimes I remember Tom Brady would play 3 quarters in the 3rd game, the starters, while the other teams would put out like the backups already done. Bill Belichick, great coach. I like his old school mentality. I think you have to do that. That's the best way to get your players out there. And when you look at the New England Patriots, they don't have any significant injuries, until Tom Brady left. And now Bill Belichick is now going through, we're not playing our starters. And you're seeing the Patriots in the last couple of years having significant injuries. I think the preseason matters, but it doesn't matter the way you think. And I want that system to go back there. But the NFL is going to push for an 18th game. And I've discussed this. I hate it. They're going to push. We're going to have 19 weeks of football and 2 preseason games in the next 5 years.
So
they can't do that without doing another bye week, I don't think.
With no bye week. That's again, and they gotta fire Goodell. Well, the owners have to like vote him out, and then you gotta kick out I forgot what's his name, the Norris Smith. I think he's the union guy. He always votes with Roger Goodell and gives the players that little chump change. And so while he does fight for the players, he fights for Goodell and the owners. That one of the reasons I'm not a. The owners have to really start to say, hey, if this is going to get ridiculous, what's going to be the breaking point of the owners? Like, are we going to have 21 weeks and 20 games of football and no preseason? Because eventually it's going to get crazy because the Roger Goodell has been trying to change the way football. He wants football to be like the NBA and MLB. Now you cannot play 162 football games. You can't play 82 basketball games. So they're going to try to get as like half of the year of football, 6 full months of football on Sunday. So it's going to get ridiculous. So that's why until we can figure this out, the NFL is going to get worse for its own. And then if you want to start putting teams out in the UK, it's going to get ridiculous. So there has to be a breaking point. And of course, we're seeing these crazy contracts, which is different. And that's why right now I have a love-hate relationship with the NFL.
Big Mac Sports.
What's up, Corey?
Thank you for coming on, and you could tell us where some people where to find you and what you got going on in your show.
Big Mac Sports. I'll start streaming probably after the last preseason game, but I'll always like to come in and hang out with you guys. So I'll start doing that more often.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
All right.
Take it easy,
All
Big Mac.
right, later, Big Mac.
See ya.
And then there was 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm David McNider now.
Well, what else we got?
Yeah, Corey, what we got?
Okay. I wonder if well, he said it was a catch. I was just looking and I see the guy drop the punt on a Denver, and then he had to recover his own punt.
Yeah, we were making opportunities. We just weren't getting the best of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we had them. We put the ball on the ground, or we made them put the ball on the ground a couple times, and we just couldn't capitalize on it.
Yeah,
I was like, we got Josh Norman on the field or something.
Josh Norman. I don't want to hear that name.
The fumble machine that never recovered a fumble.
Jeez, I remember when
Jesus
we picked him up. 49er fans were like, we got somebody. And what pissed me off wasn't that he was playing, because he was not the same player he was anymore, because he would have been on a team. But when he went up to Cliff Kingsbury's face and touched him, and if it wasn't for Aziz to pull him away, I was shocked that no Niners try to prevent that, or the coaches. After that, I was like, oh my gosh. That was like the low point of that season. That was like the lowest point. And, I'm not going to say this, but Jimmy wasn't the reason why we lost that game. Kittle fumble, Ayuk fumble, and oh man, that stream, I think it's still up. I was just cursing out the TV. I was angry. I'm like, and then we didn't tackle that number 2 running back. Jeez, I thought the Miami game, like in 2020, was a low point, but never mind.
I was so mad at Josh Norman. I was so happy when finally the coach benched him. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Because he was
a liability. Every time he was exposed, he would just create a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point where people were just trying to pick him out, or like pick on him and stuff. And we can't have that. You can't have a weak link on the team like that because they're going to exploit that unless they're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's why I liked it. Juwan Jennings. You see how he did. What play was that?
It was the first drive because after that, none of the starters went back in.
No, Juwan Jennings did one time. He got the guy in trouble.
Oh
He
yeah,
made another team.
Oh, okay.
He was blocking too hard on somebody, and they got all in their feelings, and so they struck him. And he looked at him. You could tell he wanted to fuck him up, but he was like, like I'm gonna. And then the flag goes, and he's like, yeah. And then everybody's pushing back. I remember that.
Oh man, I remember. Well, he's not in the division no more. He went to, I think Miami. One time, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. Brandon Ayuk, gets a first down, and Jalen Ramsey is grabbing his face mask, and Ayuk is just trying to give the ball to the like nothing's going on. He go referee to get the referee's attention, and then he grabs the face mask and pushes the face mask, and Brandon Ayuk's face goes backwards. Finally, after that, I don't know why it took the referee so long, and Brandon Ayuk was like, "Hey, let's just go back to the huddle." That's great composure from a player that's on your grill, like trying to like hurt you because he's getting burned by all the 49er wide receivers, and you're taking out your anger after a play. Mr. Oh, you must be a very tough man, Jalen Ramsey.
So, real quick, kind of explain why things aren't called sometimes. I remember I was watching a clip of something that Ben Roethlisberger was talking about some players' face mask getting pulled down a certain way. He's like, you see somebody's head move a certain way, like their head doesn't naturally move that way. Yes, it doesn't. But that doesn't mean that I can throw a flag because I'm 90% sure there is a face mask penalty on the other side that I can't see. You know that I can't throw that flag because I have to see the hand on there or else I can't do it. Like if I'm behind the defensive back and where I can't see the wide receiver very well and they push off, how do I know they pushed off? I could be looking at the guy's feet going, his feet aren't moving any sort of way. He didn't move back voluntarily. But if I don't see the arms and the push off, you can't throw that flag because you didn't see it. Because if you throw the flag, there's going to be a time where nothing happened. Somebody's going to get that on tape and be like, they're throwing flags for no reasons. And you'd rather miss a penalty than throw a penalty for something that didn't happen. You know what I mean? It's kind of more fair that way because you're always going to miss the certain ones, but you're never, if in that philosophy, you're never going to throw a flag on something that didn't happen. So it's keeping it as 100% as possible.
Now, I was looking at after the Raiders game, and one of the reporters asked Trey Lance, asked him about the offensive line not blocking for him, and what do you think Trey Lance said?
I can't remember.
I think those guys did a good job for me. Blah 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 blah.
He said, "No, it's on." Yeah, he took the blame. He said, "It's all on me."
Oh, the first game.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. I really like that about him. He knew the crosshairs were on him, and he still said those words.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It takes the balls.
Yeah, and
one
thing about Trey Lance that I like, it has nothing to do with like if he's a bust or if he's the guy or if he's going to succeed somewhere else. This kid is like think like way younger than me. Like I could be like a very young uncle, compared to my age. The dude is like so composed. Like he's like, I could have done this, I could have done that. I didn't do so well. He puts the blame on himself. Uh, and I like that about him. And then also when he talks to the media, he answers, the best way as possible. Doesn't matter if he likes or not like the question. And that's difficult for a kid who technically came in a month before his 21st birthday. Like most quarterbacks, most NFL players in general are entering the league at the age of 23. So for him, technically, he should have been in the league for another year, and then he would have came out just before his 22nd birthday, and that's still young in the NFL. So if you think about it, Trey Lance technically is like the rookie quarterbacks of this class. If you look at it, because technically, if he would have stayed all 4 years, he would have came out this year if he would have stayed, because they have 5-year eligibility because of the red shirt, that rule. So overall, like, the guy's very spoken very well. He doesn't care about how he feels, and even months ago he says, I want to earn this job. He said, I don't want Kyle to give it to me. Brock Purdy doesn't deserve it. He says, I want to be given. What kind of young kid, because he's technically a kid, is willing to say, I'm going to step back, and if I have to step in, I'll be ready.
Yeah. What other quarterback would have blamed if they asked our other quarterback last season? Number 10. What he would have said? What y'all think he would have said?
I think he would have been diplomatic, but he wouldn't have taken responsibility.
Yep.
He just said we need to do a better job of executing.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's probably exactly what he would have said.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I heard him speak enough.
Yeah, right. I heard his bullshit so much.
That's what I say. I say
Enough where I could second it. You know what I mean? Like
when I heard Trey Lance say that, and I said, see, I thought about it. I said Jimmy would have said we need to do better. He would not say I.
Are we going to answer Raphael's question here?
Hey, let's see.
Is Quantrez Knight making the 53-man roster?
I think if Isaiah Oliver gets cut like it's currently looking, then yeah.
Oh, yeah, Isaiah Oliver pissed me off. I was like, who's that number? And then it was Isaiah where he there was a pass. I think it was Stidham or Danucci, and he got burned.
Yep. And he also missed the tackle where if he made that tackle, it would have been, we would have had the ball. It would have been, they would have been punting.
Mm-hmm.
But he missed the tackle, so they got the first down. So yeah, with it, Quantrez Knight.
Well, what we got? We got Moody Ward. We got Demo Lenore. We got Womack, who actually I think there's no question he's making it. But then, the Ambry Thomas sighting. So, then we have our draft pick Looter. So then do we ever carry 6 corners? Do we?
I don't know.
John Jay.
Looter.
John Jay might just. I bet he knows the answer to this. Do we carry 6 corners?
So I'm trying to remember. We had 9 defensive back players. We carry, I think, 3 safeties. So there's a possibility that last year we had 6 corners. But it could change every year, because I remember that they would like get all the offensive line, and then last year they had one less defensive line player, and they added an extra safety. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but I don't know. It's like the wide receivers. We carry 5 or 6. It's the same thing. I always get confused.
Well, we know we know the 4 guys that are definitely, well, I'm going to say running belt. 5 guys that are definitely going to be on the roster when it comes to wide receiver. And I don't think there's anyone else that is impressed enough to take a 6th spot, but I'm not in the coach's head either, right?
I think so, because plus with Ronnie Bell, Ray Ray
Being hurt,
and now Danny Gray.
Yeah, Danny Gray. Like I didn't know until this morning when I woke up, and I heard. I don't know if it was Larry Krueger or somebody else that he had a collarbone injury. Yeah. So, man,
like broken collarbone, or
I last heard that.
Well, I don't know if it was a broken collarbone, but they said it's an injured collarbone. So I don't know if it's just like a normal collarbone injury, but collarbone is like technically like it breaks. Because I remember, Aaron Rodgers in 2018 when they fired McCarthy, he broke his collarbone against the Bears week 1, and he played like 10 games and then missed a few games so he was able to play through a collarbone. So I don't think the collarbone injury is as serious. Again, I didn't really read it.
Well, it's saying, from what I'm seeing, everything's saying, okay, sustained collarbone injury in preseason win. Likely to miss the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I know they say that, and the coach said it on a press conference. He said they gotta go do another. It wasn't clear, so they had to go do another MRI or something.
MRI. Well, there's a lot of reports saying shoulder, but then there's a couple saying collarbone. So we'll just wait for the, news to come out probably Monday, Tuesday. Hopefully it's out before the Niners coast to coast tomorrow, but we'll see.
Yep. Okay.
Hey, Damien, can you wake up to Freddy Krueger? I thought he was always in your dreams.
And remember, it's your dream. So,
Even Lombardi made it. Dude is the man. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's your dream. If you want an AK-47, it's in your dream.
Right? There is no spoon.
Freddy Krueger.
When it comes to Freddy Krueger, an RPG, I would definitely, it would be overkill from this guy.
I've seen Freddy Krueger. It doesn't scare me. Yeah,
I'm hitting him with the Mark 19.
Yeah.
You know what a Mark 19 is, John?
Martin 19.
No, a Mark 19.
Oh, Mark 19.
Yeah, it's a fully automatic grenade launcher.
Oh, like I said, I'm the worst person when it comes to all these things.
A lot of death.
Yeah,
a lot of death.
Yeah. Well, a minigun, you can just cut them right in half.
I know, but I want to.
But you got to burst that thing, because the ones you could handheld, it's a whole lot of fun for about 11 seconds.
So
I want to hit it with 19 though.
Before I became a content creator, before 2020, in 2017, San Francisco, for those who don't know, it's divided in districts, and I was at the district just right near at Daly City where I grew up, and I worked at one of their parks. They had this thing called the Night Out, which is basically officers getting to know the community because that part of San Francisco is not the best place to live. So they were doing a new type of outreach where they want to work with the community, get to know the people in the family, and it was a huge event. So in 2019, they took the staff the day before on our off day to a gun range out in San Mateo County. I forgot what city out there, and I shot out the thing called a Beretta. That's the only gun I know. Again, I'm not a gun guy. I don't know. Okay, I don't like guns, and I shot a Beretta, and that's the only thing I know about guns.
Guessing it was a 9mm.
So, oh yeah, that's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
So, I learned police officers use that type of gun.
They used to.
Oh, it's probably changed.
Well, ever since the Glock came along, a lot of them been using
the
Glock or
I see those in like
such.
all the movies now. Glock. Yeah.
They're a good gun. I just don't like their grip style. It's people like it once they get used to it, but I got a big hand, and I like my 1911.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It also has extended clips.
Mm-hmm. My older brother, who he's out in San Diego, because he was a huge fan of Dirty Harry. Like he loved the Dirty Harry movies. Clint Eastwood, he was a good actor, and based out San Francisco police. And that gun, the Are You Lucky Punk? He says
357 Magnum.
He bought one. I said, I don't know where he got it, but he bought one. And I looked at it, I said, dude, this is not a gun. This is like
cannon.
like a giant whatever.
It's a cannon.
I was like, God damn, it's just like it's a big ass. I asked the dude,
Dude,
what do you need?
take one of those, you shoot it into a car grill. It literally will penetrate everything into the block and crack the block. That's how powerful that gun is.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know.
Yeah. And then also
how do you know?
The James Bond gun, he also has that because like he's always been into James Bond.
James Bond. Oh, he's got the Walther PPK.
Yeah, he has that one. Like I said, like one of the reasons why he joined the military,
Walther P2K.
Yeah, one of the reasons why, and other things. I'm not gonna get too specific, but he would watch those movies, and when he was a kid, he said, "I don't want to play sports." He would get Call of Duty. There was a game called Medal of Honor. He was a big type of that type of guy. So he's always been like, like a shooter, like that. It's a little hobby, So he goes to the range every once in a while, teaches my nephews.
John Jay, sometime you need to go skeet shooting.
Is that where
you got the shotgun and they do the clay pigeons, they call them? Yeah, but
so that's what that thing's called, skeet shooting.
Skeet shooting, yes. Okay. You would love it.
Yeah. Okay.
One time we were doing skeet. So being a beer man, you get a lot of outdated beer. So when you got guns around, okay, and you live out, in the rural areas, you just go out to a tree and you strewn beers out there, and then you just start picking them off, right? And then you take your recycling and you go throw it in the bin. But yeah, we used to toss up a beer can and just boof before we got the skeet shooter, because we were out there trying to have fun, and skeet shooting's really it's a blast.
Yeah, I see like those things on a lot of TV shows where like they're like the character, they go out there and then they go pull, shoot. So,
yep.
It looks fun. Like basically like someone launches that thing.
It's a blast. Because once you hit that thing, it just shatters and you're like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's like this feeling of accomplishment that immediately comes over you. You know what I mean? And you're out there like, shit, we used to drink all the time. Because obviously while you're shooting these out-of-dated beers, it's real easy to just drink one too. So, alcohol and firearms goes hand in hand. And Anybody who says it doesn't has never lived.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have tannerite up here too, which is fun too, John Jay. You shoot it and things explode. My
Okay.
buddy set his yard on fire.
Yeah. What about you, Corey? Ever shot a gun?
Yes.
What's your favorite gun, Corey?
None really.
Corey's like, I don't like them.
I don't really like shooting guns. I'm nervous around guns. But because my brother, I can't say where we was.
Anyway, there was this one time, didn't like it.
It was, we were doing dirt riding in a car, in a Bronco and Torio front runner.
Oh, you were 4-buying.
Yep. And there was a abandoned car up in the hills. Somebody old abandoned car. So we took out the gun, started shooting at it. Pow!
We go up to the quarries.
My favorite gun. I had a World War I Russian rifle. I sold it to this old guy across the street. He still has it.
A Mosin,
but it was a short barrel bolt action.
Oh, it was the Paratrooper edition
with a bayonet.
Yeah, it was a Paratrooper.
So I mean, it shot a 7.62 by 54, and that thing was so loud that I almost got kicked off the gun range because they thought I had a cannon. They're like, "This is an outdoor gun range," and I was like, I shot it, and it was so loud that everyone's like looking at me like, "What in the hell you got?" And the guy that's overseeing the gun range, he's like, "What?" He walks up to me, he's like, "Seriously, I thought you had a cannon or something." I'm like, "No, it's just this." Boom. And I let him shoot it too because he thought it was cool.
Boom.
But
you can get a tri-rail for those things.
Yeah.
You can put on it and have 3 rails on that bad boy.
My uncle.
I'm telling you, McNiner.
Stayed in North Richmond.
That's Mosins.
He had a gun in every room of his house. He carried one in his little gun in the back pocket. He had a handkerchief, some guns in his pocket, a handkerchief over it like this. And then he had a gun in the bathroom, a gun in his bedrooms, in every bedroom. And we were like, "Uncle, why you got a gun in the bathroom?" He said, "You was sitting on the toilet and somebody break in your house. You need to get the gun. There it is right there. In the bathroom with you."
There's a story type of joke that I heard, and it was this Alaskan state trooper pulls over this grandma. And he asks her, "Is there any weapons in the vehicle?" She says, "Well, yes." He says, "Well, what do you have, ma'am?" He says, "Well, I got this 45 in the glove box." He says, "Oh, okay. Is that everything?" She says, "No." "What else do you have?" "Well, I got a 357 and revolver." He's like, "Okay. Is that everything else?" "No, I got a 44 Magnum." He goes, "Ma'am, what are you scared of?" She goes, "Nothing." Because she got all that firepower and she ain't scared of nothing because she got all them guns. I thought that shit was hilarious.
Yep. And he has a my uncle has a 357. We got to shoot that. Couldn't handle it. It went like this. I had like this and said, "Pow!" Is it?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know proper technique. You're supposed to actually grip it with both hands because of the kickback. And especially those 357s and those 44s or revolvers, you definitely want to hold those with any revolver. You want to hold it with 2 hands, folks.
You shouldn't
don't be that person that has a scar somewhere up here. You
shouldn't be carrying a weapon that you can't shoot safely. So if you can't hold the gun out and put multiple rounds on a target without a gun going everywhere, you shouldn't be You shouldn't
That's
be
right.
carrying that gun.
I remember.
I mean, personally, I have a 45 in a holster between the wall behind me and there's a bed. It's between them, you know. And then I have 9 in the headboard, and another one locked in the safe that I take with me every day.
You know, I want to get me what is it, a Smith & Wesson Judge? Is that what it is? Is because it could shoot the 357 long, or it could shoot the 410 shotgun shells. That'd be a great home defense revolver, because you could stop anything in the house real quick, and if you got issues outside, well, you could just switch it to the 357 and go sniper. But it's a snub. Check that thing out, man. The Judge, I think it's called. That thing, man. You can erase things with that.
I remember we were leaving the high school football game, and a fight started, and everybody said gun, and we took off. But we get to this guy's house. I get to his house, and his father loading up a gun. We like, it's a whole bunch of them, and you only got a 6-shot. He said, at least I get 6 of them.
Which is not true. You're lucky if you get 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as stuff's going down, it's not like people are staying in place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
that's true.
And as the blood's pumping, you're not gonna, somebody who doesn't do it every day as a profession, like our military and whatnot, they're not gonna necessarily look. David's probably trained out on the range, getting ready, just in case there's that moment. But that doesn't mean that he's not gonna be excited in some sort of sense, and things that are not the same conditions he trained under. You know what I mean? So
That's true.
Yeah, it's just natural shit. Only somebody who's been hardened and does that routinely can, like the special forces guys. Our special forces guys are crazy. They go and see some horrific stuff, and it's like another day at the office to them. They watch their buddy get shot, and it's and they're not necessarily they're sad about it, but it's like they know they have to just move on, you know what I mean, and get the objective done, and they can think about that later, compartmentalize it.
Okay, I'm about to end the show.
Yeah, I got to go too.
So, what you got going on the Border Force?
So I know I said last Tuesday we would have a show on Mariah's channel, but it will be this Tuesday. We are back. Bring the heat. We are back. No Beto. So yeah, we'll be there. We got the rivalry. There's also a chance that I'll be popping up with Joe doing preseason games. So make sure to have the bell notification set. Also, if anybody here wants to stream a game, let me know, because we can all get together and stream it on all of our channels. So,
John Jay.
See, tomorrow, no show on my channel, but Tuesday I'll be back, and my schedule will be back. It looks like the only time I'll be able to stream because of my new schedule is 11 a.m. I know that's early. I'll figure something out. I'll probably also try to do like 1 o'clock, but during the week, that's my new schedule. I will be streaming the game on Friday. And if anybody wants to hop on, I know there's going to be a little conflict, but I'm streaming all the games. So that's what I'm doing on Friday. And then after that Saturday, I'll do the recap and have the fans call in. So that's what I'm doing this week.
David McNiner.
Well, tomorrow night we got Niners coast to coast on 49ers First Takes. We're on a rotation. And then Wednesday night we got Bryant and I, after he's done, we're doing East Coast Red and Gold. Him and Tony. Tony's going to be on. I'm going to definitely be catching that one. That'll be interesting. And then we got, we got Peachy. Crystal, the Wayne Breezy's partner in crime. So we got her coming on the show. I'm looking forward to that one. Then Thursday night we got Corey Davis. We're going to be talking more 49ers football. We'll know the outcome of Danny Gray and other injuries by then. Hopefully there's not a lot.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'll be watching everybody till Thursday. Then I'll be doing. Sure, I have a go meet up with my doctor on Thursday too to talk about when I want to start physical therapy. And Friday, I'll be. Are you doing your show Friday, or are you gonna move it to Saturday? Or what is what?
I'm thinking we're doing Friday still.
Okay.
I haven't gotten the okay from McNiner yet or Bryant to move to Saturday yet.
Well, I'm a single guy. Saturday's going to be a tough one for me to make.
I understand.
Mm,
I think it'd be better as like where the season goes, because it's like, well, and like I said, I was trying to we can plan for the show after Bryant's show in the morning, and then we can turn around, because then we'll have all the news of the week right before the games. But
so I'd like to thank everybody that came today. All the people in the chat, thank you. Make sure, I hope everybody hit that like button. And thank my panel for coming in. I enjoy having each and every one of you. I appreciate you. So let's have a good day, good week.
Hey, go Niners and F the Lambs.
Yep, go Niners.
just like what David Corona says.
Yep. And F all them teams.
That's right, especially Raiders.
Yep.
And Rams. And Seahawks.